The city of Sault Ste. Marie was electric Monday night as the Greyhounds completed a series win over Eric Lindros and the Oshawa Generals. But the Greyhounds' work was just beginning, because now they'll face the best teams from coast to coast in the Memorial Cup. And this team of character and characters looks to bring the Sioux its first ever championship. Quebec is a city of ancient beauty, of history, and that includes a proud hockey history. In 1971, Guy Lafleur and the Quebec Remparts won the Memorial Cup, and the Flower, in the process, became a larger-than-life figure in this province. Now, young men like Patrice Brisebois of Drummenville look to restore Quebec's hockey glory. Molson Cooper presents the 1991 Memorial Cup Hockey Championship. Tonight's game featuring the Drummenville Voltigeurs against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, live from the Colisée in Quebec. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. By Cooper Canada, the official equipment supplier to the CHL and a proud co-sponsor of the Memorial Cup. And by Shell, maker of the performance gasoline, Formula Shell. The best teams and the best players have gathered at the Colisée in Quebec City to see who will be the champions of the CHL for 1991. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Colisée and TSN's coverage of the 1991 Memorial Cup. I'm Gord Miller. Since Guy Lafleur and the Quebec Remparts won the Memorial Cup back in 1971, the Quebec League has produced some outstanding hockey players. Denis Savard, Raymond Bourque, Mario Lemieux. But it has not yet produced a Memorial Cup champion. It's been a 20-year drought, and the fans in this city will see two Quebec League teams try to end it. We'll see Chicoutimi, and the team we'll see tonight, Drummenville. But they face some tough competition, including the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. The Greyhounds have a proud hockey past of their own. They've given us players like Wayne Gretzky, John Van Beesbrook, and Rick Tocchet. But they have never won the Memorial Cup title either, and this hungry group of hounds is looking to end that drought in 1991. We look forward to an outstanding tournament here in Quebec City. We will crown a champion next weekend, but before that, we've got great round-robin action for you. And the men who will describe the action are with us now. Let's go to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie for their pregame thoughts.
So the big question is, considering the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, did they do it all against the Oshawa Generals? Was that their peak? Are they going to be able to get up again for the Memorial Cup Championship?
I really think they'll be able to get up again. They're a very young hockey team. That inexperience may hurt them, but at the same time, this is a team that has just constantly improved from January on. They swept through 2 playoff series before the Oshawa Generals, and though it was a 6-game series against Oshawa, really, Sault Ste. Marie dominated that, and I don't think they've finished improving yet. I think they've got lots left, and I think General Manager Sherry Basson will make sure that this team is inspired and ready to perform at maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most of these kids.
Dominate is the word you'd use for Sault Ste. Marie over Oshawa?
I would say so. I don't think it was as close as a 6-game series would indicate that Sault Ste. Marie really was the better team in at least 5 of those games.
Now, the Drummenville Voltigeurs is an interesting case. Many of the people who see a lot of action in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League say when Drummenville is on its game, it is by far the best team in the league. That certainly wasn't the case in the league championship final when they were swept by Chicoutimi.
Drummenville's problem is that they are their own worst enemy. They tend to be very undisciplined at times, take a lot of bad penalties. That's what they did in the league final against Chicoutimi. That's why they were swept 4-0. On any given night, though, they are capable of rising to the occasion, having a very good game. And this is the type of tournament where they could really play spoiler. I don't think this team is good enough to win the Memorial Cup, but I think they're good enough to knock off one of the favorites and really spoil somebody else's chances.
So heading into this game, suffice it to say the Greyhounds are not the underdogs. Gord?
Thanks very much, gentlemen. It's the dream of every junior hockey player, and now it's so close they can almost touch it. Coming up next, the opening ceremonies and the kickoff to the 1991 Memorial Cup. We'll be right back.
Break away with Formula Shell.
Hey, you guys hear about Goodyear's big Grand Slam tire sale? 4 tires for the price of 3.
4 for the price of 3? Why didn't you tell me?
I did.
You did
I
not.
told you, but you never
not tell me about
You
this.
don't.
I never heard a word I say. What?
Did you hear that? 4 tires for the price of 3?
Yep.
Deals like that don't come along every day.
Let me see here. 4, carry the 3. Wow, that's a good deal.
The Goodyear Grand Slam tire sale. 4 for the price of 3 on selected tires and many other great values.
Got to get to Goodyear, go down here, turn right. Now then.
We are capturing this magnificent bald eagle in his natural habitat with the zoom lens of the Sony TR Series Handycam. You can see for yourself the crisp, clear broadcast quality once achieved only by professional cameras. If you want your pictures to look this good, shoot them with the Sony TR Series Handycam. Take it from Sony. It has what it takes to take great pictures.
There are 2 kinds of people in the world. Those who want to know,
Harvey, these light-to-light dinners give us their cholesterol and fat levels.
and those who don't.
Delicious.
To those who want to know,
It's right here on the front,
Light to Light puts it out front.
where we can see them.
For those who don't want to know, Light to Light simply tastes better than ever. McCain Light to Light. The information's on the outside. The taste is on the inside.
Well, the defending Memorial Cup champion Oshawa Generals are not here. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds instead wearing the Ontario Hockey League crown. We have the best team from the Western Hockey League, and we have a couple of very good hockey teams from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, all vying for the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Before we start the tournament, let's meet the teams.
Mesdames, Messieurs, il nous fait grand plaisir, au nom de la brasserie Molson O'Keeffe, brasseur de la bière Molson Export et des fabricants de l'équipement de hockey Cooper, le groupe Canstar Sport, de vous souhaiter la bienvenue au tournoi de la Coupe Memorial 1991. Nous tenons à souligner notre grande appréciation aux commanditaires de ce tournoi, Molson O'Keeffe et Cooper, pour leur participation généreuse qui contribue grandement au succès de la Coupe Memorial. Il nous fait grand plaisir maintenant de vous présenter les 4 équipes participantes à ce tournoi de la Coupe Memorial. Tout d'abord, les champions de la Ligue de hockey junior majeur du Québec, les Saguenayens de Chicoutimi.
The Chicoutimi Saguenay Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, they swept Drummenville 4 straight in the league final.
Les champions de la Ligue de hockey de l'Ouest.
And from the West, a team that absolutely positively steamrolled through the playoffs, the Spokane Chiefs. The Chiefs backstopped by an outstanding netminder, Trevor Kidd, who you saw star at the World Junior Championship. This Pat Falloon walked through the picture. Outstanding gifted hockey player who also starred in the World Championship. And a team that many didn't expect to be here, especially the Oshawa Generals, who were beaten by them 4-2 in the Ontario Hockey League final, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And a few boos scattered in amongst the cheers. And the other finalists from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, they may not technically be the home team tonight, but the fans are with them, the Drummenville Voltigeurs. Spokane, Sault Ste. Marie, Chicoutimi, and Drummondville, all vying for the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Lots more still to come.
It was born on the wrong side of the tracks, boxing. It was illegal to begin with. And it's probably been pronounced dead more times than Dracula, and it just keeps coming back and coming back.
But when you have no options, and you have that sort of desperation, hey, if I don't make it here, I'm going nowhere.
At its worst, it's a tough, brutal sport. At its best, it's a beautiful thing to see.
For the love of the game, Monday, 8:30 Eastern on TSN.
You know, pretty soon the Memorial Cup's coming up, and since I have a hurt knee, I'm not going to be able to be playing much baseball. And if I can't make it, I know I'm going to be watching TSN and my Spokane Chiefs.
Memorial Cup action at its best continues as the Chicoutimi Saguenay battle the Spokane Chiefs. We've got the action Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern.
Live on TSN.
And they are just introducing the dignitaries, including the honorary chairman of this tournament.
Monsieur Jean-Denis, coordonnateur de la Coupe Mémoriale, se joignent à eux pour cette mise au jeu officielle. Et maintenant, mesdames, mesdemoiselles, messieurs, le président d'honneur de la Coupe Mémoriale 1991, monsieur Guy Lafleur.
Well, it was the Guy Lafleur-led Quebec Ramparts who won the last Memorial Cup for a Quebec-based hockey team back in 1971, defeating the Edmonton Oil Kings. Guy Lafleur, of course, retiring after an illustrious career this season.
Je demanderai maintenant au capitaine Bob Bogner de Sault Ste. Marie, team captain.
And they'll call the captains to center ice for the ceremonial face-off, and then we can drop the puck in earnest and get this tournament underway. That is Jim Geary of Cooper, Canada. Mario Cote assisting him.
Mesdames, messieurs, je vous invite maintenant à vous lever.
And before we start things, we'll pause for the playing of our national anthem.
Monsieur Guy Lavoie, accompagné alors par monsieur Denis Germain.
Any player will tell you who's been in this situation that one of the toughest things is standing there during the opening ceremonies trying to remain focused on the task at hand.
Well, both teams obviously have to do it. Drummonville Voltigeurs coming in on a bye as the host team. They lost to Chicoutimi in their own league final. Sault Ste. Marie, champion of Ontario. getting ready, and we'll be back with you in a moment.
Be on the lookout for bikers in action as TSN follows the 1991 Cycling World Cup Series. Canadian Steve Bauer leads an international pack of cyclists through the tough terrain and rugged roads of Europe in a grueling 12-race series that spans the continent. Be watching Tuesday, 6 Eastern, for highlights of the Paris-Roubaix, the third in the series. Keep up with the pack. The Cycling World Cup Series, only on TSN.
For the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, an incredible turnaround. That's the most simple and straightforward way to put it. 1 year ago, 7th place, last place in the Ames division of the Ontario Hockey League. There were no playoffs, but character and a determined coach by the name of Ted Nolan turned this team around this year. A 45-point improvement, first place, and an upset victory of the Oshawa Generals in the Ontario Hockey League Championship Final. And here are the Greyhounds trying to finish off the dream.
Well, this is a hockey team that's very good on defense. The Montreal Canadian teams of the 1970 that won so many Stanley Cups had a big three on defense. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have a big three on defense. Adam Foote, Bob Bookner, and Brad Tiley. They do not have a 40-goal scorer, though, a guy who can go out and turn a game around. But, you know, you talk about teams of destiny. It's been overworked phrase maybe in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. But this is a team that can win the Stanley Cup, but they need every single player going on every single shift, no passengers, or they won't make it.
And the Drummenville Voltigeurs also with a tremendous turnaround this season. The Voltigeurs with the biggest turnaround in the entire Canadian Hockey League. They were terrible last year, and they improved themselves this year by a total of 58 points.
Well, Drummenville is a team that thrives on offense. They've got a big line, Yannick Dupré, Roger Larche, and Denny Chassé, who does a lot of their work for them. The big problem is defensively and a lack of discipline. You know, this is the team, the penalty minutes are a little bit misleading because they count misconduct penalties in the totals in the Quebec League, but this team picked up 666 penalty minutes in 14 playoff games this year for an average of 45 minutes per game. Over the course of the regular season, 33 penalty minutes per game. This team does not really have the horses to win at all, but on any given night, they have the ability to knock off any team, including the leading contender for this Memorial Cup, the Spokane Chiefs.
And just to give you an idea about the character of this Drummenville team, their leading scorer, Denny Chassé, led the team in scoring with 101 points. He also had 246 penalty minutes. So they are a tough, scrappy, and, you nailed it, at times, undisciplined team. Ted Nolan, meanwhile, thrives on discipline. He likes his team to play restrained, disciplined hockey, not unlike the way the Minnesota North Stars are doing it right now in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We talk about the team of destiny. It's, as I say, an overworked phrase, but certainly a lot of parallels between what the Minnesota North Stars are doing and what the Sioux Greyhounds are doing.
Pierre Gagnon starting in goal for the Drummenville Voltigeurs in this game. He had an outstanding playoff. He played in every postseason game for Drummenville. He was the best goaltender in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League in 1989-90. Mike Lenarduzzi is in goal for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He is very good under pressure. He had a goals against average of 2.91 in 5 games through the Ontario Hockey League playoffs. He was the player of the week in the OHL back in early December. The referee for tonight's game is Benoit Lapointe. On the lines, Mario Gagnon and Jean Morin. Tony Yob cooling his heels in the Sault Ste. Marie bench, and you talk about character players. He has scored 14 goals in the playoffs so far, 14 goals in 14 games, but his influence on this team goes far beyond the score sheet.
Well, he's very typical of the kind of players the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have. Worked the end, both ends of the ice very well, and has the ability to score some goals. 38 goals in the regular season coming over from Kingston in a trade deadline deal.
So we are about set to kick off the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Patrice Brisebois with the wrap on the pads of Pierre Gagnon, the Drummenville goaltender. Number 15, Jarrett Reed at center for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. The Hounds on your left, they're dressed in white and red. Drummenville on your right, they are dressed in red and black. Roger Larche into face-off against Reed, and we are underway. The puck cleared down, and the Greyhounds into forecheck right away. Lambert trying to get right in front of the net, knocked away from him. Pass up the middle there, just missing with Denis Chassé. Keep your eye on Chassé, number 10 for Drummondville. 101 points this year, and also likes to play it tough. Larche up the middle, couldn't pick up the pass. Here's Guy Lahou back in his own end, can't get it out. Lambert fires it in. That is handled by Gagnon. He'll move it up. Chassé ahead there for Larche, and offside called on Drummondville.
Well, Drummondville coach Jean Hamel played 12 seasons in the National Hockey League. Montreal, one of his greatest influences while he was there. He wants his team to play a Montreal Canadian defensive style. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the personnel to do that. They're more gifted offensively than they are defensively. It's something that I'm sure as the seasons go along and he's behind this bench, he'll try to tool this team to the Montreal Canadian style. For now, they go with offense.
Puck cleared in by Brisbois off the boards. Lenarduzzi's going to drop it off. Brad Tilley moving it up around the boards. Joe Basillo trying to get it out. Basillo played for the Oshawa Generals last year on that Memorial Cup championship team. He's making headway now, bashing into his man, Martin Charrois at the line. Drummondville controlling now. Delayed penalty coming up. It's going to be against Sault Ste. Marie. So the Voltigeurs will get a chance in the power play. And finally, the puck is tagged along the boards by Joe Basillo. And Ted Nolan and company will go shorthanded early in this hockey game.
Looks as though Basillo is going to go off for roughing. Something Ted Nolan would just as soon not see this early in the game. Basillo over in front of the Sault Ste. Marie bench. Some gritty work along there. I didn't actually see what the infraction was. The referee signaling a roughing call.
So Basillo heads off for roughing at 1:05.
See, he's got the puck here, and he's being chased and hooked a little bit. Comes up, big hit at the blue line, and there's a big hit, but I can't imagine that that would be called a penalty. Less than after the whistle here, he did something that didn't.
Search for the call. The call was made in any event, and Drummondville now with a chance in the power play and a chance to open up the offense and score the first goal of this Memorial Cup championship. Puck cleared in. Jutras up there, number 29. He's decked along the boards. Corbett trying to get it loose. Back to the line. Brisbois moving across. Couldn't keep it in, however. Got his signals crossed up there with Andre Legault, his defensive partner. And the Hounds will just eat up some time. 1:30 to go in the power play for Drummondville. Adam Foote, Quebec Nordique's draft pick, moving it up. Brisbois knocks it down. Roger Larche gives it away. Puck fired in wide by Colin Miller. And it'll bank all the way around the boards out to Adam Foote. And so far, the Drummondville power play lacking teeth.
Paul, the special teams for Drummondville had a horrible series in the Quebec final against Chicoutimi. It was one of the reasons for their downfall. Neither the power play nor penalty killing very effective.
1 minute to go in the power play. Here's Chassé trying to come in. He runs into Buchner. Buchner knocks him down back towards the line. Legault to breeze that all the way. And it's crashed off the boards and down the ice by Denis Lambert. 40 seconds left in the man advantage for Drummondville. 17:34 to play first period. I'm Paul Romanek with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. Game 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship from Le Colisée in Quebec. 25 seconds left in the power play for Drummondville. Charrois having trouble there getting away from Rick Kowalski. Here's Chassé. 12 seconds left in the power play, and Kowalski lands the best shot on goal during the man advantage. And unfortunately for Drummondville, it was a shot on goal for the shorthanded team. Here comes Dupre. Penalized player back on, but Dupre moving in. Gets it right in there. Lenarduzzi knocks it down. Loose in front. Knocked over to the corner. Kowalski trying to tie it up. Get some help in there from Buchner, number 4, and they will freeze it up against the boards. We'll get a stoppage and a face-off down in Sault Ste. Marie territory.
No sustained action for Drummondville, but a very good scoring opportunity that nearly got past Mike Lenarduzzi. A shot taken by Yannick Dupre, and the rebound was sitting there loose. The Sault Ste. Marie defenseman had his back turned on the play. You'll see Buchner, number 4, come in front. Paul, now there's the puck. Roger Larche tries to bang it in. Bugner comes in from behind, tries to put him down. Puck very nearly went under Bugner in the crease. Here's a look from Dupre's view. Good low shot on net. Deflected along the way by Larsh. Leonard Doozy hung tough at the post.
16:43 to play in the first period. Lots of time. Drummondville 0 for 1 on the power play. 0-0 hockey game. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, the Ontario Hockey League champions, up against the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League finalists, Drummondville Voltigeurs. The Voltigeurs were swept in the final by Chicoutimi. Here's Savard. Can't find the target there. Tony Yaw back to pick it up, number 77. He is double-teamed and can't beat those odds. Jason Denemy was belted. Here's Adam Foote. In heavy traffic, coughs it up. LaPerriere was in front, couldn't get it to him. Miller. Here comes Denemy. Trying to get it towards the front of the net for Yob. He's tied up. Denemy continues to chase. He's given a bump. LaPerriere moves it up around the boards. Here come the Voltigeurs. Paquette will just dump it in. Voltigeurs make some changes on the fly. The Greyhounds will do likewise. Miller up the middle. Knocked down. Lambert trying to break in. He's pulled down. And a penalty coming up against Drummondville. It is going to be number 5, Martin Charrois, heading off. And the Greyhounds will get their first power play chance of the hockey game. 0-0. You're watching the 1991 Memorial Cup.
In Canada, women and men are equals. They constantly compete to gain some advantage. To get the upper hand and the better position. Molson Canadian. What beer's all about.
Drummondville defenseman Martin Charrois off for hooking at 4:10. He hauled down Danny Lambert.
And the Greyhounds had their first chance in the game in the power play. They had little trouble killing off Drummondville's power play earlier in the period. 15:30 to play, first period, 0-0 hockey game. Here's Adam Foote along the boards. Foote looking back towards the line for Intra Nouveau, just pivots out and fires it in himself, knocked away by Gagnon. A minute and a half to go in the power play. Foote being watched by Dupre, up to Intra Nouveau. Vasillo. Can't come in with DeKoff. Here's Foote now. DeKoff straddling the line, couldn't get it to him. Dupre, a nice job to break it up. 1:15 to go in the power play for Sault Ste. Marie. DeKoff tight ropes along the line and gets in. Tried to slide it through for the slot. Gets it back now to Tilley. Intra Nouveau. Nobody in front. Back to Tilley. Shoots. Powers that one away wide. Foote moving up after it. Can't keep it in play. It's tapped up over the glass. And we get a stoppage.
Adam Foote, the second-round pick of the Quebec Nordiques in 1989. A lot of people here obviously an interest in this young man. Outstanding defenseman. Just had a great series against the Oshawa Generals. Has played so well for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds this season. He was the quarterback on their power play. He's got a good low hard shot from the point. When Sault Ste. Marie's on the power play, you can watch for him quite often to be the trigger man. And he may fulfill that role one day with the Quebec Nordiques here.
48 seconds left in the power play for the Greyhounds. 0-0 hockey game. Bugner shooting. Rebound right in front. And Reed couldn't power it in. Reed still pushing at it. Yob's up there too. Kept in back at the line. Bugner moving it in along the boards. Knocked back out and back behind the play. A slashing call coming up. And I believe it's going to go against Pierre Gagnon, the Drummondville goaltender, as he really laid the lumber on Tony Yob.
On a power play, Tony Yob will plant himself in front of the net. As we watch Bugner take the shot, watch the rebound come out. Gagnon is way out of position. Jared Reed comes around. I believe he hit Tony Yob in the skate with that shot. Now you'll watch Yob in front of the net. He does his job. He'll come back and stand right on the doorstep of Gagnon. Gagnon got a little flustered and gave him the lumber.
So Gagnon gets the penalty. He is called for slashing. And it comes with 14:21 to play in the first period. So a two-man advantage for the next 32 seconds for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And it is Denis Chassé serving the penalty. Greyhounds, lots of room to work it around. Foot gets it across. Keeley back to Foot. Works it in. Reed with a chance. Tried to get it in front. Batted down. And for the time being, the Voltigeurs dodge the bullet. Tyler moves it up. Here's Reed. Back to Tyler. And Gagnon, no trouble at all with a shot from that range. 1:25 now to go in the one-man advantage for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Well, Paul, if you're on the power play and you're going to take a shot from the point, if you're the defenseman, you have to wait and allow your wingers to get in front to create some traffic. In that instance, Tiley took the shot so quickly from the point, none of the Sault Ste. Marie forwards were on top of the goaltender. As a result, it was an easy play for Gagnon. He saw it all the way, and nobody was there to pick up what might have been a rebound if there was traffic.
13:46 to play first period, a 0-0 hockey game. Sault Ste. Marie with the man advantage, just coming off of a two-man advantage for 32 seconds. They really only got the one good shot on goal. Yob up in the face-off. Tiley with a nice job at the blue line to keep it in, but then put it up over the glass himself, and that leaves a minute 19 to go in the Greyhounds power play, and the face-off coming back outside of the blue line. And check that, it's going to be just inside the blue line.
Little Ralph Infernuvo, 150-odd pounds, 5'7", an 8th-round pick. That's the key in junior hockey. If you can build your hockey team with guys you pick up in the 8th and 9th round, it's going to make you a contender.
He was an MVP back in 1990 at the Toronto Midget Showcase Tournament when he played with the Young Nats. Very talented hockey player, developing well in his rookie year. Tyler, nice move, gets it in. It's Renuvo. Looking for Tyler or someone in front. A minute left in the power play for Sault Ste. Marie. 0-0. Here's Tyler. Shoots. Doesn't make it in. Goes off a skate. LaPerriere picks it up and gets it out. 50 seconds left in the man advantage for Sault Ste. Marie. 13:05 to play in the first period. 0-0. The Greyhounds and the Voltigeurs. Game one of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Gagnon gives it away. Foot back of the net, right in front. Chance for DeCoff, and he couldn't land the shot on goal. And the Greyhounds right now handling the puck in close as though it were a grenade. Here's DeCoff. Here's Foot. Sherwa bumping it along the boards. Basillo trying to get it loose. Sherwa comes up with it and gets it out with 10 seconds left in the Greyhounds man advantage.
It's a bad sign for the Sioux Greyhounds. Two Greyhounds in the corner being, they were outmanning Drummenville. Drummenville came up with the puck.
And that will do it for the Sault Ste. Marie power play. Bugner, number 4, being watched by Dupre. Here's Kowalski. Lambert. Lars brings it in. Slick moving up there with Chassé, but he couldn't land the pass on the tape. Here comes Reed. In deep. He's got Lambert trailing up there. Lambert comes in to help out. Kowalski moving for the front of the net. Bugner with a shot. That ricochets off a shin guard. And the Voltigeurs is able to control at least enough to get it out. Chassé up the middle for Plante. And he was offside.
Well, there's Eric Lindros sitting beside Kitchener Ranger goaltender Mike Torchia. I think if Eric Lindros were here, with all due respect to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, we'd have a much larger crowd on hand. The Quebec Nordiques, of course, expected to make him the #1 selection in the 1991 entry draft. Everyone's wondering and speculating, will Eric Lindros actually play in Quebec? And maybe between the second and third period tonight on Bob's Notebook, we can discuss the possibilities of that.
.33 to play in the first period. And neither team really taking the bull by the horns at this stage. Sault Ste. Marie with perhaps the best opportunity to put their best skate forward in this tournament with a two-man advantage and a power play, but they've yet to click. And again, you see them getting close, but they're not quite able to finish off with a good scoring chance. We've seen that on several occasions so far in the hockey game. Corbett battling his way along the boards, trying to get it up towards center. Rene Corbett comes away. Prue in over the blue line, breaking for the net, scores!
Well, Hugo Prue picked up the goal, but good work at the blue line by Rene Corbett. He wins the battle with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound player, comes away with it, moves the puck up to Plante. Plante gets it over into the middle. And going to the net, there's the rebound. Leonard Guzzi can't control it, and Hugo Prue, a fourth liner, a rookie on this team, is on the spot. Good work by Plante, but look at Prue going to the net. The inability of the Sioux Greyhound defenseman, actually it was Colin Miller, the center back check, the inability to hold him up allowed for the rebound to come loose and Prue to put it away.
So it is Prue from Plante and Corbett at 8:59, and it's 1-0 for Drummondville. And offside called on the Voltigeurs.
I don't think there's any question that Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have had better opportunities so far in this game. There's only been a couple of scoring chances for Drummondville, but they capitalized on that one. Prue going to the net very well.
And as I mentioned off the top, technically Sault Ste. Marie, the home team, they have last change, but no doubt who the real home team is.
The team that will get the biggest rise out of the crowd this week will be the Chicoutimi Saguenayens. They're a couple of hours up the highway from Quebec City. It's expected that as many as 2,500 fans will motor down from the Lac Saint Jean area, Blueberry Country in Chicoutimi for this Memorial Cup.
Bugner being watched by LaPerriere. They will battle along the boards. LaPerriere, number 14, chops it loose. Dave Paquette up forechecking, number 77. Can't come up with it. Paquette wheeling in. LaPerriere going for the front of the net. He'll go back of the net to pick it up. LaPerriere and Paquette centering it in front. Knocked down, and Metier can't get it out. Intranouveau is upended, and a penalty coming up. It's going to go against LaPerriere of Drummondville. He will be called for tripping. We may have additional penalties. We get a bit of a scrum and along the boards after the whistle.
Our next presenter is Michael.
So much to me from the moment I saw you. I knew we'd always be friends, that I love you. This is from my dad. Dad, I've loved you from the first moment I saw you. And I got the pictures to prove that. It's photography.
Voltigeur rookie Ian LaPerriere off for tripping at 9:43. What looked like a harmless swipe at the puck in the corner, trying to strip the Greyhound player of the puck, Intranouveau. And there he got a stick in right underneath those skate blades. And I suppose strictly by the book, if you don't touch the puck before you go in and hit the guy's skates, it's a penalty. But certainly the referee giving every indication tonight that he's going to be calling it very tight. And both teams had better be careful and cautious as to exactly how they play.
Benoit Lapointe is the referee, and he has called it very tight so far. And an additional penalty being doled out to Bob Bugner, rather, of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. That came after the fracas down in the corner, so we get offsetting minors, and the teams remain at even strength. Roger Larche jumped along the board. Chassé battles his way in. Couldn't get it in behind Leonard Guzzi, though. Chassé in back of the net. Bumping with Inver. Up around the board. Brisebois shooting. That's off a leg. Lehoux with a shot. That flutters wide. Chassé side of the net.
Trying to get it out in front. Larsh was battling for some extra real estate, but couldn't convert in the pass. It's Renuvo. Centers it across in front. Mike DeCock couldn't get his stick on it. And back come the Voltigeurs. Larsh, cross ice. Imber up to DeCock. Stephane Desjardins moving it up. 9:15 to play, first period. 1-0, Drummondville leading. And the Greyhounds not with too many great chances. Jutras from the side of the net trying to get it in front. Matsos in along the boards and tight against Corbett. Corbett gets it into the corner. Plot after it. Here's Matsos again. Whitten swings in. Gets it into the slot, continues the drive to the net, but Gagnon will just cover it up. And we'll get a face-off down in Drummondville territory.
Right now, Drummondville is beating Sault Ste. Marie in its own game. They've got the better forechecking game going, and actually, at this point, are playing a little more disciplined. Sault Ste. Marie captain Bob Bouger went off with that roughing penalty. It happened after the fact. Ian LePerriere was already going off for the tripping penalty. Bouger got involved in a cheap shot after the whistle. As a result, Teddy Nolan's team had to give up what would have been a power play.
Although the way the power plays been working so far in the game, maybe that's not that bad a thing.
Neither team showing a lot of great finesse around the net. Drummondville's a better finesse team. Sault Ste. Marie's got to work a lot harder for its goals.
Jarrett Reed up on the face-off. Stephane Desjardins back of his own net. Prue knocks it over the blue line for Paquette, and offside called in the Voltigeurs.
Jarrett Reed is a native of Sault Ste. Marie. There are not that many kids that get an opportunity really to play for their hometown team in major junior hockey. Jarrett Reed was a big scoring star with the Sault Ste. Marie Legion Bantams. He was taken in the first round of the Ontario Hockey League midget draft this year. And they expect him to be an offensive force. If there's going to be a game breaker for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds in the years to come, this is the guy.
And he reminds many, in terms of style and I suppose stature to a certain degree, of Pat LaFontaine. Up in the face-off right now against the only goal scorer in this game, Hugo Prue. Scored at 8:59. Claude and Corbett picking up the assists. I'm Paul Romanek with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller, the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship, live and exclusively on TSN. Kowalski down in the corner. Sharp angle. Reed trying to jam it through for the front. Reed with another chance. Knocked away by Gagnon. Lambert couldn't handle the pass. And it sneaks out. Kowalski couldn't keep it in. Offside, calling the Greyhounds.
Kowalski in there bumping, and that's exactly what his game is all about. A grinding player. Usually plays for the fourth line, and he's traditionally a role player, but he's always stirring things up. Not unlike some NHL players we see, like a Ken Linsman. He also likes to talk out there, get the game yapping, try to throw the other team off its game by getting into a little yapping.
And just to give you an idea of how well the Greyhounds have played as a team, how guys have really hit their stride, Rick Kowalski had 5 goals all season. He scored 4 goals in the playoffs in 14 games, so he almost equaled his season output.
Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds use all their bench. They play all their players. They rotate in some rookies in and out of the lineup to give everybody a little bit of experience, but everybody plays, everybody sees action. That's one of the strengths of this team, is their balance.
.07 to play in the first period. 1-0 hockey game. Drummondville leading Sault Ste. Marie. Tony Yob is clearing it in. Pierre Gagnon, the goaltender, knocking it over towards the corner. Miller. Back of the net. Looking for the front of the net. Tried to get it under front to Denemy, but couldn't find him. Denemy comes over to get it. Here's Yob. Foot at the blue line. Helps to keep it in. Here's Yob. Across for Denemy. He was being tied up. Miller up there after it. Back to the line. Imber with a shot, and Gagnon will hang on. John ML, the head coach of the Drummenville Voltigeurs, is happy with the character of his team. He feels that's something that gives him a big advantage in this Memorial Cup tournament.
Well, it's pretty much like Sault Ste. Marie, you know. There's no big stars on our team if we compare to Sault Ste. Marie. They got 3 good offensive line. We got 3 good offensive line. On defense, we got some good defensemen that can move the puck. In goal, we got some good goalie. We got some good goalie. Except for Patrice Brisebois, most of the guys don't have any experience in that type of tournament.
Roger Larche up on the face-off, winning the draw from Colin Miller. Dupre up for Larche, just off of his stick. Foot at the blue line, can't get it out. Larche comes in. Dupre's up there with him, but Foot breaks it up. Here comes Tony Yob. Back up with Colin Miller. Yob trying to sneak outside on Brisebois. Brisebois got it, though. Chassé spun at the line by Foot. Here's Larche. In with Chassé and Dupre. Larche for Dupre. Chassé's there, too. Leonard Doozy pokes it away. Brisebois trying to land it on goal. Colin Miller breaks it up. Denemy for Yob. And that goes away wide. Actually ricocheted off the skate of Guy Laou. 6:40 to play in the period. 1-0. Drummenville leading. Rene Corbett going for the net. Down in the corner. Knocks it loose. Plot with it. Trying to jam it in there towards the front of the net. Corbett was causing some havoc. 6.5 minutes to play first period. Desjardins gets it back down into the Sault Ste. Marie zone. Bugner gives it away. Jutras with a shot, and Leonard Doozy picks it off.
Leonard Doozy bailed out captain of the team, Bob Bugner. Bugner made a very bad clearing attempt, picked up just inside the blue line. You'll see Bugner just flip it out across, and there Jutras stepped over the blue line, fired a hard, high shot. Leonard Doozy's got the whistle up. Got the whistle up, the glove up.
Well, Ted Nolan talked a little bit before this game about the character of his hockey club.
Great character. You know, we have so many kids, and we can't say 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 players. It's almost the whole 24 players that we have that, you know, they just don't believe in the word quit, and they work so hard that, you know, you couldn't be proud of more a bunch of kids than we are of the Sioux Greyhounds.
Plot in front of the net, couldn't get the shot away. Mike DeCock breaking back in. He will break for the net. Pass there to the trailer, Sean Imber, but he couldn't get the shot away. Corbett steps in, and 2-line pass called on the Drummenville Voltigeurs.
Well, take out your pen and paper right now and mark down this guy's name, because you're going to hear a lot of it in the years to come. In fact, the next time after this Memorial Cup you hear about it will be on June 22nd at the NHL Draft at Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo. Rene Corbett, rated as a first-rounder. And there's no question that he'll go probably somewhere between the number 10, maybe 15 overall pick. A real pure goal scorer. And if you remember, he played for the Richelieu Riverend last year, led them to the Air Canada Cup in 1990.
And speaking of drafts, he was the first overall pick coming into the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League this year. Although he did have trouble with tight checking against Chicoutimi in the championship final for the league. And a few observers saying he can be frustrated if you put a shadow on him, and that seemed to be the case against Chicoutimi. LaPerriere battling his way in, trying to get it out in front. Had Dandeneau breaking in there. Bugner moves it up around the boards. Lambert can't get it out. LaPerriere moves up. LaPerriere again. Dandeneau right in front of Leonard Doozy. Trying to distract him. Dandeneau back in the net now after it. Bugner up around the boards, but not out. 5:20 to play first period. 1-0 Drummenville leading. Lambert steps in. Tried to land it on goal. Went off the skate of Marc Savard. Legault down in the corner. Can't get it out. Savard being rattled along the boards. Kowalski tries to chop it loose. Finally, LaPerriere coming back down and out for Drummenville. And he'll just dump it in and head to the bench. Coach Jean Hamel making some changes in the fly. 4:50 to play first period.
Sault Ste. Marie seems very tight. They're really back on their heels. They're not playing the kind of hockey that got them to this Memorial Cup.
Dupre trying to break through. It was a 1-on-3. Then he couldn't see much daylight. Chassé pokes at it. Here's Kowalski. In scoots Tony Yob. Brisebois battling him. Yob gets it in front, broken up, and play is called. A holding penalty coming up, and it is going to go against Patrice Brisebois.
It's time to come into your neighborhood Tim Hortons and order that special treat just for Mom. A freshly baked Mother's Day cake.
Always got time for Tim Hortons. No one said no to freshness. Round the clock freshness. Round the clock freshness. Always got time for Tim Hortons.
For Mother's Day.
Patrice Brisebois for holding. He has a tough time with Tony Yob. Yob is a big, strong guy coming down the wing. Brisebois gets the stick and the elbow and the glove and just put everything else up. Almost decapitates Yob. The referee sends him off for holding.
That goal for Drummenville being scored by Hugo Prue back at the 8:59 mark, an even strength goal. Quentin Corbett in the assists. Tiley back to Foot. Fire that in. Yob parked off to the side of the goal trying to tip it. We'll see if they try the same play. Tiley into Yob. Back for Miller. Colin Miller to Tiley. Right in there, and Gagnon hangs on, and that was tough because Jason Denemy, number 10, had his rear end parked right on the lap of Pierre Gagnon.
Well, that's exactly what the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are trying to accomplish. Brad Tiley or Adam Foote from the point. Both of them have good shots. Gagnon's down on the ice. We see it come back to Tiley in this case, and he just rears back and fires it. And you look at all the traffic in front of Gagnon, that's exactly what they want to do. Excellent concentration on the part of Gagnon to follow that puck along. And I think that Gagnon might have took that in a very sensitive area, and that's why he's down. Coach Jean Hamel and Ted Nolan, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds coach, were in fact professional teammates with the Detroit Red Wings back in the early 1980s. They renewed acquaintances yesterday at a coaches meeting, and today they have their teams meet on the ice. There's the shot sneaking its way through. Gagnon, good job of positioning himself. He took that in the lower midsection, and it looks like it hurt.
Ted Nolan just talking earlier this afternoon, saying that as much as he enjoyed being a player and the pro experience that he did have, this is the biggest thing of his hockey career, being here as the coach of a team in the Memorial Cup Championship.
You have to remember that Teddy Nolan was a journeyman hockey player. He played more games in the minor leagues than he did in the National Hockey League, although he did play over the course of 3 seasons with the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins. And here he is at the pinnacle of junior hockey, a tournament that's very difficult to win. And I know that Teddy Nolan's thrilled about it. I know the entire city of Sault Ste. Marie, 80,000 strong, are excited about this. And Steve Lupien, the backup goaltender in the Drummond Voltigeurs, never saw a minute of playing time in the playoffs. Gagnon went all the way, playing in all 14 games, every minute of every game, and he's going to be able to continue here.
Well, Lupien is not even on the Drummondville bench. He is on the other side of the ice. And because of the setup here at the Coliseum, the benches are very small. I noticed the Greyhounds backup goaltender Kevin Hodson is standing back in the alleyway. He's not actually on the bench either, and Lupien does him one better. He's way over on the other side of the ice by the penalty box. Foot back at the blue line, moves it in. Foot and Tiley back at the line. And they'll try to feed the points on this man advantage if they can get possession, which they can't on this occasion. Eric Dandeneau moving it down the ice with 1:15 to go in the Greyhounds power play. Colin Miller drawing some attention as he drives nearer the goal, gets it in front, nobody home. Ian LaPerriere picks it up and gets it down the ice with 1 minute left in the man advantage for the Greyhounds. Tiley up to Foot. That is blocked, and back behind the play. Jason Denemy down in the ice, and he was chopped as he moved up towards the blue line. And perhaps a bit of payback for crowding the goal area and getting in front of Pierre Gagnon.
Well, it looks like Roger Larche is going off for slashing. And Paul, we talked about the lack of discipline by the Drummondville Voltigeurs. It's a problem that's plagued them all season, especially in the playoffs. And now they're giving the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds another opportunity on the power play. You'll see this at the upper left part of the screen. There's Larche turns around with a one-handed swipe across the ankle of Denemy. Just swung around very casually with one hand on the stick. And as a result, Sault Ste. Marie will go on the power play again. And if the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are going to win this hockey game, it's going to depend on their power play, which has really been misfiring this far in the game.
And discipline has to be going through the mind of Jean Hamel right now when he sees his team taking penalties like that. This is the second two-man advantage the Greyhounds have had in the hockey game. They had one for 32 seconds earlier in the period and didn't really get a good shot on goal.
Well, the irony, Paul, is that Jean Hamel is a discipline-oriented coach. When he coached in Sherbrooke of the American League, that was one of the watchwords of his hockey team. He's from the Montreal Canadian organization. They stress discipline. So does he, but it's not paying off.
Here's Foot. Top of the point. Shoots. And Gagnon got a piece of it. Intranuvo. Back to Foot. And again, lots of traffic down in front of the net. Lambert a chop at it, and Gagnon will hang on.
Well, the Greyhounds tried something a little different there. They faked a big shot from the point. Tiley and Foot pumping it and then throwing it off to the side. Little Jarrett Reed tried to sneak around from behind the defenseman and put it by Pierre Gagnon. Instead of just blasting away, they tried a little finesse down low. They had no more success with that than they did blasting from the point and looking for the rebound.
31 seconds left in the 5-on-3 man advantage for Sault Ste. Marie. They trail 1-0. Here's Jarrett Reed. Chassé watching him. Tiley back at the line, hurries it over to Adam Foot. Intranuvo, laid it across in front of the net, and Reed couldn't convert.
Intranuvo's pass was just bouncing and maybe a little too hard for Jarrett Reed. Bounced right over his stick into the corner, and Drummondville was able to clear.
Intranuvo. Lambert breaks to the front of the net. Reed is there too. Reed back to get it. Now a one-man advantage for the Greyhounds, a 5-on-4. Here's Tiley. Looking for Foot, hands it away. Here comes LaPerriere. 2-on-1 with Brisebois. Brisebois couldn't handle the pass, it was rolling on him. But he will eat up some valuable seconds. 45 seconds left in the one-man advantage now for the Greyhounds. 2 minutes to play in the first period. Drummondville leading 1-0. Intranuvo up after the pass. Lambert watching him. Lehoux up there trying to tie him up. Reed moves in. Here's Reed. Tucking it in front. LaPerriere jumps on it and gets it down the ice with 25 seconds left in the Sault Ste. Marie power play.
Good penalty killing by Ian LaPerriere, a rookie for the Voltigeurs. Very aggressive, teaming up with Patrice Brisebois. And now Sault Ste. Marie's going to pick up a penalty. Jarrett Reed in behind the net, trying to work the power play. And Guilherme comes in and gives him a pretty stiff cross-check and puts him down on the net. Going off is number 77, Tony Yob. We talk about undisciplined play, a slashing penalty for Yob. He took a two-hander across number 22, Eric Blunt. Play, 18 seconds left in Roger Larche's penalty. And the Drummondville Voltigeurs will go on the power play, which will carry over into the next period.
Minute 35 to play in the period. And the team's at even strength for the next 18 seconds. Corbett moving in to take the faceoff against Colin Miller. Miller wins that drop. Imber gets it in front. Facillo couldn't get a shot away. That's just fired wide of the net by Miller. Gagnon moving out to challenge him. Corbett. And Drummondville now going on the power play for the next minute and 35 seconds. That will carry over into the next period.
Well, I believe Colin Miller rang that one right off the post. Miller, a gifted goal scorer, another guy who is perhaps the potential game breaker for the Sioux Greyhounds, although with 37 goals over the course of the season, hardly classifies as a scoring superstar. But Miller took it in the deep slot and just rang it right off the post. Former Niagara Falls Thunder player. Came over to Sault Ste. Marie and has been a good offensive player for them. Certainly in the series against Oshawa, he really picked up the pace. The first two series of the playoffs, he struggled.
He has led the Greyhounds in scoring the last 2 years. Although with Sault Ste. Marie, you were not talking about an offensive powerhouse. As you pointed out, he had 86 points this year. That was good enough for the lead on the team. Jutras turns it back in for Drummondville. The Voltigeurs in the power play. Here comes Joe Basillo, however, for the Greyhounds. Basillo with Intranuvo breaking for the net. Basillo over to get it. Brisebois battens him against the wall. Corbett in with Jutras. Drops it back. Plot sashaying his way to the top of the slot, but can't get a shot away. 30 seconds left in the period. 56 seconds left in the power play for Drummondville. They lead 1-0. Brisebois. Jutras squeezed out there at the blue line. 15 seconds left in the period. Patrice Brisebois, number 24, working along the boards against Bob Bugner. 3 seconds left. And that will do it for period number 1. A rather uninspiring period in terms of offense, considering that the Greyhounds had two-man advantages and couldn't really test Pierre Gagnon that strenuously.
Neither team played disciplined hockey, and as you say, Paul, two-man advantages for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They've got to get their power play firing when they're playing against a team that's going to take as many bad penalties as Drummondville has in the first period.
Hugo Prue scoring the only goal of the first period. He got it at 8:59 for Drummondville to put them up 1-0. Our first intermission coming up, and here's Gord Miller.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. Coming up in our first intermission, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Cinderella, perhaps, but a hard-working one at that. And Alexander Legault will join us in the studio when we come back. We're in Quebec City for the 1991 Memorial Cup, and we'll be right back on TSN.
Remember, down the shaft, back.
It's a part of life almost taken for granted. People know Canadian Tire will have the top brands and the low prices. When you think about it, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire. Giving you the time to turn that raw talent into tomorrow's pro.
You know, son, the goalies are the real stars of this game.
Gets the honey. Wendy's new country fried hamburger, Junior Hamburger Deluxe, hot baked potato with sour cream. Fresh Caesar salad, secret recipe chili, and chili cheese nachos. Regular fries, regular size Coca-Cola Classic, and 12-ounce Frosties. Super quality and taste on Wendy's super value menu. 9 items, just 99 cents each.
Look, I know you have less to spend these days, But that doesn't mean you have to eat less.
9 delicious items, just 99 cents each every day. That's Wendy's Super Value Menu.
Drummenville leads Sault Ste. Marie 1-0 after the first period of the first game of the 1991 Memorial Cup. Welcome back to our first intermission. Joining us in the studio is Alexander Legault of the Drummenville Voltigeurs. We talked to you a little bit earlier in the season, and you mentioned that you had left Boston University to come back to junior hockey. It turned out to be a great move for you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wasn't playing much down in the States, and you know, I needed to gain my confidence back, and you know, I need to have some people trusting me, and this is what's going on here, and yeah, it's definitely been a good move, especially that, you know, we're here today.
The Edmonton Oilers drafted you in the second round. What did they think about your decision?
I don't know. I didn't really talk to them, but from what I heard, you know, through my agent and stuff, I guess they were pretty happy about the decision. You know, they thought that it was going to prepare me faster, and you know, that's about it.
You're from St. Foy, just outside the city. You know as well as anyone how desperate this province is for a champion. Is there a lot of pressure on the two Quebec teams and their players this week?
I think there's more pressure on Chicoutimi than on us. You know, we come in here as underdogs. You know, so you know, we got nothing to lose really. You know, we're ranked last, so if we win, you know, it's up there, play our game, and win some hockey games.
You were swept by Chicoutimi in the Quebec League playoffs. You already knew that you were going to be at the Memorial Cup. No one likes to get swept, but I mean, the advantage is I guess you got a nice rest before you came here.
Well, I think we got 2 nights of a rest before we played Chicoutimi. They won their other series, the semifinals, won 7 games against Laval, and we swept Longueuil right before, you know, before the final, 4-0. So, you know, you guys kind of, you know, get out of it, because, you know, we were off for a week and a half. All we did was just practicing, and, you know, you could feel a lot of tension, you know, in practices. And last week we just kind of worked on getting our momentum back, and I think it's worked pretty good.
It's worked well so far. Your team leads 1-0 after 1. Good luck and continued success.
Thanks a lot.
Alexander Legault, the Drummenville Voltigeurs, our guest in the first intermission. We've got more to come in our first intermission when our coverage of the 1991 Memorial Cup from Quebec City continues in just a moment.
Butterball turkey, prepared meats from the deli. Lunchtime, party time, anytime. Butterball for today's active lifestyle. Ask for Butterball prepared meats now at your favorite deli. Any way you slice it, Butterball.
There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. We shop in the same stores you do. We know what $1 buys and how hard it can be to make ends meet. We've got families to raise and taxes to pay, and we worry about nursing the car through another winter just like you. So when we talk to you about Scotiabank services, we're not trying to sell you something you don't need. We're trying to help. Scotiabanking means believing in people and proving it every day.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth. It is today's Quaker State. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
For 5 straight years, the full-size pickup from GMC Truck has retained more of its original value than any other in Canada. That's why the popularity of the Sierra is growing faster than any other full-size pickup. And we intend to keep it that way in '91 with the new Sierras. The 1991 Sierra full-size pickup from GMC Truck.
Ultra Cheer knocks dirt out cold.
Welcome back to the 1991 Memorial Cup, where Drummenville leads Sault Ste. Marie 1-0 after 1 period of play. Sault Ste. Marie is a city that, as I mentioned earlier, has given us some great hockey players, most notably Wayne Gretzky. Unfortunately, that city has made a lot of headlines over the past few years, and they haven't all been great. And a lot of people in Sault Ste. Marie feel that the city is getting a bad rap. Well, what a chance to make positive headlines here at the Memorial Cup in Quebec City with a team that maybe perhaps is not Cinderella, but certainly is a surprise. After dumping the Oshawa Generals, the Greyhounds are here, happy to be so, and happy to be representing their city and their fans. After 5 years in junior hockey's wilderness, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are back. The last couple of seasons were lean ones indeed for the Hounds. Consider this, 1 year ago they finished with 18 wins and missed the playoffs for the second straight year. But hard work, perseverance, and dedication paid off for the Greyhounds, who scrapped every bit of the way this regular season. When they knocked off the defending Memorial Cup champion Oshawa Generals, the Greyhounds had at one point fashioned a 19-game unbeaten streak. It wasn't by luck, it was by design. And that dedication has carried them now to the Memorial Cup. And the Greyhounds aren't just here for themselves. They're here for the fans of Sault Ste. Marie, who stuck with them every step of the way.
They've wanted a winner for a long time, and they haven't been there since '85. And it means a lot to the city because of the way we almost lost the franchise, and the way that the community came together and kept us into the Sioux. And this is just something unbelievable for them because they didn't expect us to go this far this year, and they're happy for us. We were almost sold to Detroit CompuWare a couple years back, and Dr. Chinook, the dentist up there, and a few of his friends took over, businessmen took over, and we're treated like NHL players up there, and it's a real close family, and we get treated really well.
The players are the first to admit that their city is small and isolated from others in the Ontario Hockey League. But smallness and isolation have their advantages. Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound fans are loyal and patient, and that's paid off and helped this club get where it is today.
In the Sioux, hockey's a culture. It's part of the culture. I mean, and I don't think there's too much pressure on it. There's going to be always amount of pressure on you, but I think the boys can handle it, and we just like going out and showing the city what we got.
In the Sioux, the number one thing is hockey. So the fans go to the hockey games more, and they really treat the players really well up there.
It's a good hockey town, and that's got its advantages and disadvantages. But the fans are great there, and good support. And this year, since we're in first place, and we really did well and beat off Oshawa, it was a great city to play for.
Those loyal fans helped the Greyhounds through a long, tough season and their unbelievable playoff run. But now the Greyhounds are thousands of miles from their home city and their supportive fans. But they know that the fans are still with them.
Well, we understand that you might not be able to come here, but we love you anyway.
I'd like to tell them that we're going to give it our all, and we're not only winning it for ourselves, but we're winning it for the city because they do deserve it, and they're the greatest hockey fans in Canada.
Looking for their first ever Memorial Cup championship, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds trailed Drummenville 1-0 after one period of play. This is just the beginning of a week of coverage of the Memorial Cup here on TSN. Our next game comes your way tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Chicoutimi against Sault Ste. Marie. We're back with more in our first intermission on TSN in just a moment.
When you're busy being a mom and chauffeur, the last thing you're thinking about is your brakes, right? But if something told you they weren't right, would you know where to go? You don't want to trust them to just anybody, so you go to Midas. Free 49-point brake inspection, trained experts, written estimates, the famous Midas guarantee. And nice people.
Good morning, Murray.
That really look after you. When it comes to brakes, nobody tops the talk. Nobody.
I know headaches, the worst headaches. I get some real doozies. So I use Anacin. Anacin has just the amount of medicine that I want. Not too much, not too little. I like that.
When hemorrhoids itch and hurt, it's because of the swelling. So that's why I use Preparation H. You see, Preparation H shrinks swollen hemorrhoids. And when you reduce the swelling, you relieve the itch and pain.
Preparation H shrinks hemorrhoids.
It's really that simple.
MC Hammer, rap star and Pepsi drinker. Well, today, we secretly replaced his Pepsi with Coke. Let's see what happens.
Feelings
nothing more than feelings.
Hammer.
Rob.
You know, pretty soon the Memorial Cup's coming up, and since I have a hurt knee, I'm not going to be able to be playing much baseball. And if I can't make it, I know I'm going to be watching TSN and my Spokane Chiefs.
Memorial Cup action at its best continues as the Chicoutimi Saguenay battle the Spokane Chiefs. We've got the action Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern.
Live on TSN.
Welcome back to Quebec City, where it's Drummenville 1, Sault Ste. Marie nothing after 20 minutes of play. Time now for the play of the period, brought to you by Air Canada. It comes late in the period, and a great scoring opportunity for Sault Ste. Marie. Tony Yob in front gets it over to Colin Miller. He beats the goaltender, but he can't beat the crossbar. Rings it off the iron, the best scoring chance for the Greyhounds in the first period, but they come away empty. The play of the period is brought to you by Air Canada, going above and beyond. We'll be back with more from Quebec City and the 1991 Memorial Cup in just a moment.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
Presenting Surviving the Munchies, a teenager's guide. Number 1, know the munchies. A hunger that hits below the belt. Number 2, know that number 1 can't be sweet talked by chocolate or candy, whipped by licorice, crumbled by cookies, and sorry kids, Mom's cake just won't cut it. No, the only way to crunch the munchies is with a bright, crisp Hostess potato chip.
Cause when you got the munchies, nothing else will do.
Hostess potato chip.
And remember, be careful out there.
The first goal of the tournament is scored by the Drummenville Voltigeur. It comes midway through the first period after some nice work along the board. Eric Plunk gets it ahead to Hugo Prue, who makes the nice move around the Sault Ste. Marie defenseman, drives to the net, and scores the goal at 8:59. That makes it 1-0 in favor of the Drummenville Voltigeurs, and that is our score after one period of play. The assist to Plunk and Corbett. As the shots were even, Sault Ste. Marie had a pair of two-man advantages but couldn't cash in, and that's why the Greyhounds trail 1-0 after 20 minutes. Now for the second period, let's go upstairs to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenna.
And Pierre Gagnon, in terms of facing Sault Ste. Marie shooters, was kept most busy by defenseman Adam Foote, who fired 3 of Sault Ste. Marie's 10 shots on goal in that first period. None of them got by, though.
Well, the shots were 10-10, but you really wouldn't have known it given the number of opportunities, the good opportunities Sault Ste. Marie had. Gagnon definitely was forced to make more better saves than Lenarduzzi at the other end. Gagnon is a sterling playoff performer. A year ago was named the best goaltender in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. He won the Jacques Plante Trophy, and dating back 3 or 4 years ago when he played midget hockey, he won the Ken Dryden Trophy as the top midget AAA goaltender in Quebec.
Mike Lenarduzzi, one half of a very solid goaltending tandem for the Greyhounds. Kevin Hodgson not playing tonight. He will likely play the second game. And then from there, Coach Teddy Nolan and assistant coach Danny Flynn will sit down and assess who has the hot hand. Although during the regular season, Lenarduzzi and Hodgson pretty much split it down the middle.
Lenarduzzi, a third-round draft pick of the Hartford Whalers. I'm sure a lot of the Hartford scouts will be in town later this week to have a look at their property.
A real who's who of hockey when you come to a tournament like the Memorial Cup. General managers, coaches, scouts, all trying to get a last look at some of the top-rated junior hockey players before the NHL draft. Second period just underway. 1-0, Drummenville leading. They start this period with a power play. It has 15 seconds to run. Chassé running up there after the puck now. Takes a look for Larche in the slot. Goes instead to Brisbois. Back for Chassé. Here's Guy Lahoux. Moves it in. Larche shoots. Another chance. Trying to jam it in. Lenarduzzi a couple of saves. And he will finally hang on just as the Drummondville power play expires.
Roger Larche had the good opportunity there. Denny Chassé was parked off to the side, and that's the guy they really want to get it to. 47 goals this season, 101 points. As you mentioned earlier, Paul, 250 penalty minutes. He's very feisty, very talented, and leads the top line, the right winger on the top line for Drummondville.
Game number 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. I'm Paul Romanek with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. Second period action just underway. It is a 1-0 hockey game. Drummondville leading. Hugo Prue scored at 8:59 of the first period. Eric Plon and Rene Corbett picking up the assists. It was an even strength goal. And that being somewhat unusual because both teams had ample power play chances. Joe Basillo trying to forge his way in. Gets it in front. Infranuvo, a shot. That's knocked away. Larsh after it along the boards. Number 45 for Drummondville. He's out-muscled. Foot. Gets it across. Fired in by Imber. Rebound in front. Basillo with a chance. Gagnon knocks it down. Another chance. Chassé can't get it out. Imber another shot. That's knocked away by Gagnon. Not one, not two, but three good chances for the Greyhounds. And Pierre Gagnon coming up in spades.
Pierre Gagnon had Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds parked all over the place. Joe Basillo in right up on top. Big flurry of activity, a shot from the point. Gagnon makes the Gagnon makes the save. The rebound comes up. Basillo, number 21, can't get a stick on it. Neither can Mike DeKoff, number 19. And then finally it comes back. You'll watch Ralph Internuvo tries to put it up high. A great save with the glove. The rebound comes out, and Chassé clears it. Here's a low-angle look at it. The save made off the side of the post. Sault Ste. Marie comes so close. Game of inches, all sorts of traffic in front of the net. But the 0 remains on the scoreboard under the Sault Ste. Marie score.
.43 to play in the second period. Sherwa turning back out. Here comes Plot. Corbett trailing. He gets it to him. Corbett driving it for the net. Centers it in front. Jutras crashing the doorstep. And the net comes off the pegs and the puck stays out.
Jutras couldn't get that puck from the skate up to his stick blade. He was being tied up by the Sault Ste. Marie defender. I believe it was Bugner coming across the middle. Corbett makes a nice pass out to Jutras, a backhand pass coming right across. And you'll see Jutras got it on a skate, kicks it, hits the post in the side of the net. And just skittles off to the corner. This is the second line for Drummondville, but they can do some damage. Jutras had 29 goals this season. Rene Corbett had 25, and Eric Plante, the centerman, had 41. So this is a line that can do damage in addition to the big line of Dufresne, Larson, Chassé.
And Jutras not eligible for the draft this year. He'll have to wait until 1992. And he should go in the first 3 rounds in 92.
I would think so. A big, strong guy who can score some goals. Although it's always difficult to speculate when you're talking about 17-year-olds, but that's the nature of the draft, too.
Brian Gowdy moves in around back of his own net. Greyhounds trailing 1-0. Miller out at center. Jutras knocks him down, and offside called on the Voltigeurs. They're checked out on the Greyhounds.
Well, the Drummonville Voltigeurs have several players now of NHL property. Legault, who was interviewed in the first period, intermission by Gord Miller with the Edmonton Oilers. Dries Brisebois played some games with the Montreal Canadiens this year, and Denis Chassé just this past week signed as a free agent by the Quebec Nordiques.
Brisebois playing 10 games with the Montreal Canadiens this year. Had a couple of assists, no goal. But really brought a lot from that experience back to his team. Scramble around the goal, and it's in. Benoit Lapointe parked right off to the side of the net, made the call. There was a bit of hesitation and looked for a second until Gagnon had kept it out. But Tony Yob, obviously seeing enough daylight to tuck it home and tie this game up.
Well, the strength in Tony Yobb's game is that he goes to the net so well. He's big, he's physical, he parks himself there, and you'll see on the wraparound here, just wheels around, banks it in off Gagnon's pad. Just picks up a loose puck behind the net. You'll see he was left by the defenseman, number 7. And all alone, Dandino, actually the right winger on that play, didn't come back with Tony Yob. Yob was left free behind the net. The puck squirted loose. And very quick hands, wrapping around on Gagnon.
Now, Brad Tiley will pick up the assist. And the goal comes 1 minute, 54 seconds into this second period. And here come the Hounds again. Puck knocked in towards the goal. Denemy couldn't get the shot away. Here comes LaPerriere. Shoots just wide. Tiley picks it up. Up off the boards, kept in. Savard with a shot. Lenarduzzi with the save. LaPerriere down into the corner. Paquette looking for it. He's lost his helmet. Here's Legault. Paquette now. Getting it in front for LaPerriere. Just hopped over his stick, and Tony Yob starts back now for the Greyhounds. He comes up with Denemy. Denemy at the line. Had to step back out. Foot off the bench. Sends in an eye-high shot. Gagnon knocking that down, and the Voltigeurs content just to clear and get a bit of a breather and a chance to change up the line. We played 3 minutes of the second period, a 1-1 hockey game. Basillo stops. Brisebois sends it back up. Pekarak tied up along the boards by Sean Imber. Basillo moves it ahead. Foot coming in over the line. They couldn't get the pass to him. Whitten along the board. Pekarak. Here's Brisebois now. And play is called, and a holding call coming up. It is going to go against Dave Whittam, number 19 of the Drummonville Voltigeurs. So Sault Ste. Marie will get a chance to go ahead in this game after this man, Tony Yob, tied it up.
Well, at some point in this power play, Tony Yob, who scored that first goal, in fact, is going to be right now on the power play. Tony Yob is going to go park himself out there and try to get a second goal of the game. That is his function on the power play. There probably won't be a wraparound if he scores again. He'll just park himself. And Whittam, a guy who picked up 380 penalty minutes in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League this year, bulldog down Mike DeKoff. He's not too happy about it. I should point out that, as I did earlier, the 380 penalty minutes includes game misconduct, 10-minute misconduct, and majors, whereas in Ontario and the West, they stopped including 10-minute misconduct and game misconduct as part of the penalty total.
And thus the total is somewhat inflated in the Quebec League.
If they did include them in the Western League, Terry Toporowski, defenseman Spokane, will be here with over 800 minutes.
Here's Tiley. Up there for the Greyhounds. Working it in for Jarrett Reed. He's in tight there against Brisebois. Dumps it off to the back of the net. Yob gets it in front, trying to go after it. Brisebois moves it up around the boards, and it gets past Adam Foote and all the way down the ice. A minute and a half to go in the Sault Ste. Marie power play. A 1-1 hockey game. Game 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. From Le Coliseum, Quebec, I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. And Brisebois just taps it back down the ice for Drummondville. 1:10 to go on the power play for the Greyhounds.
Greyhounds were 0 for 4 in the first period with those two-man advantages. They want to get something going on the power play this time. If they get this power play going, they could well put this game away.
.50 seconds left in the man advantage. Here's Tiley. Clears it in for Sault Ste. Marie on the power play. Bubner moving up, couldn't keep it in. Larsh moving up to pressure Lenarduzzi, gives him a bit of a bump. Dadino sends it in. Lenarduzzi had to hustle to get back into the net. And a penalty coming up against Sault Ste. Marie. Bob Bubner pulling his man down. And that will nullify the remaining 33 seconds of the Sault Ste. Marie power play.
In the game of hockey, as in life, success comes when solid offense is balanced by superior defense. That's why Transamerica Life offers Canadians a solid lineup of investment products, balanced by innovative, affordable life insurance. For over 60 years, Canadians have counted on Transamerica Life for balance. Call your Transamerica representative for all the financial security you need. Transamerica Life sponsors the major Junior A Hockey Plus Minus Award.
Greyhound captain Bob Bugner off for holding at 5:01. He bails his goaltender Mike Lenarduzzi out here. Lenarduzzi caught way out of position. You'll see him fire the puck up. Gets hooked into Roger Larsh's sweater. Very casual coming back the puck. Now watch him slip there as he tries to get up. Bugner had no choice but to jump all over Larsh, prevent a scoring opportunity while Lenarduzzi had fallen down and had trouble getting back on his feet in front of the net.
Here's Basillo up for Sault Ste. Marie. Got some room, gets it right in front. Intranuvo breaking for the net, but couldn't convert on the pass. Dandino drops it back for LaPerriere. Pressured over along the boards by Imber. LaPerriere shooting. And I don't even think Lenarduzzi saw it. He was looking off in the wrong direction, but managed to knock it away. Intranuvo can't knock the pass down. Teams at even strength, and Witten now steps back on, and Drummondville goes to work on the power play. Gagnon drops it off. Charrois up for Drummondville. 1:15 to go in the Drummondville man advantage. A 1-1 hockey game. With good work by Colin Miller to put a spike into the power play plans of Drummondville. Here comes Prue. He's got the only goal for Drummondville in this game. Prue in deep. Looking for Corbett. He's tied up there by Foot. And Miller gets it up ahead to Kowalski, who finishes the job with 45 seconds left in the man advantage for Drummondville. Puck stolen down in front, and Kowalski couldn't get the shot away. Here's Prue. Breaking through with Plante. Gets it in front to him. Plante can't get a shot away. 30 seconds left in the power play.
Good work by Kowalski. Hustled down, picked up that puck. Very nearly came around in the wraparound.
Corbett moving it down into the corner. Trying to chop his way in there. Here's Brisbois back at the point to keep it in. Works it across. Broke it up. And Lambert will touch the puck and put himself offside, but still strong work by the Greyhounds killing off the Drummondville power play. 10 seconds left in the Voltigeurs man advantage.
Kenny Lambert, a Sault Ste. Marie overage player, almost got into a little undisciplined act there, punching the Drummondville player. Kowalski doing a good job of penalty killing. We talked about the role players on the Greyhounds. Just watch him beat the puck. The Drummondville player, who just took the big wide circle. As a result, Kowalski was able to come right in there, swing around, lost his footing just before he came out in front of the net, fortunately for the Drummondville Voltigeurs. Good shift, good penalty killing by Rick Kowalski.
.13:09 to play, 1-1 hockey game. Tony Yob scoring for Sault Ste. Marie, and Hugo Prue scoring for Drummondville. Drummondville playing tomorrow afternoon against Spokane, and Sault Ste. Marie will play tomorrow night against the Quebec League champion Chicoutimi Saguenay. Penalized player back on, teams at even strength, but cutting in with a good shot on goal. Number 15, Jarrett Reed. Here's Chassé. Trying to get it up along the boards. Chassé. Still with it, and offside calling the Voltigeurs. And Chassé giving a little elbow after the whistle by Brian Gowdy.
We're going to see a lot of Chassé out there tonight. Played over 8 minutes in the first period. Coach Jean Hamel will use 4 lines at times, but certainly his top line sees the lion's share of the action. He's a Guy Lapointe, formerly the big defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens, coached for a time with the Quebec Nordiques.
Where do I know when I'll sit with him? 12:41 to play in the second period, a 1-1 hockey game. Lego. Mark Savard will just clear it in. Imber around back of the net for Foot. He puts his best foot forward and gets it up to Lambert. Can't get it in on goal. Lambert following up to forecheck, trying to knock it loose. Puck bouncing around. Matos looking for it, but it's pulled away by Chassé. Back in over the blue line. Larsh is trailing. Chassé cuts right in. The puck gets there, and Lenarduzzi will hang on.
Chassé, a dangerous man. He goes to the net very hard. You don't end up with 250 penalty minutes. You don't play aggressively and have an aggressive attitude. And here he does a good job of breaking down on Sean Imber, who is an outstanding defenseman, a rookie for this Sault Ste. Marie team. But watch the moves on Chassé. He manages to get to the net, get around Imber, but Imber does a good job. Good defensive work by the Sault Ste. Marie rookie, an 18-year-old from the Young Nats.
Actually, the puck getting to the net, Chassé didn't. Imber was just watching him. He had him in the crosshairs and didn't let him slip away.
Been impressed with LaPerriere tonight. He's done a great job of penalty killing. He's only 17 years old, doesn't turn 18 until next January. Played on the Quebec team at the Canada Winter Games, and he's a real good young hockey player.
Played very well with that Quebec team at the Canada Winter Games. And he came back with a lot of confidence. Similar to the situation with Brisebois, who came back with so much more confidence after he played with the Montreal Canadiens for 10 games. Here's Yob. Gets it across in front. Miller couldn't get to it. Bugner fires it in. That's knocked down by Gagnon. Brisebois up to Paquette. Bugner breaks it up. And that goes up over 2 lines. Offside pass called on Sault Ste. Marie. 11:42 to play in the second period. A 1-1 hockey game. Game number 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship.
Chassé plays a lot of hockey for this team. Over 11 minutes so far in this game. 8 in the first period. A well-traveled hockey player. He's drafted by St. Jean originally. Played for Verdun, played for Drummenville in one turn, was traded to Chicoutimi in one of those lend-lease trades that they make in the Quebec League so often, where players end up with their old team again, back with Drummenville, almost mysteriously, Paul.
Puck knocked down. Denemy breaking in. That's knocked away. Miller. Denemy there to help him out. Here's Miller. Trying to dance his way in. Gets a weak shot. Gagnon the save, and he will hang on. And everyone piles in down in front of Pierre Gagnon.
Well, what a surprise. Tony Yob in on top of the goaltender. Number 77 should just take up permanent residence at the edge of Pierre Gagnon's crease. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds did a good job again of going to the net, and the Greyhounds are picking up a little bit of steam here. Colin Miller comes out of a big group. Goes around Dandino and manages to flip that puck up. Big Mark Savard came in and gave it to Yob. Just as the whistle went, but Colin Miller coming on strong in these playoffs. He had a very average series against the Dukes of Hamilton in the opener. Came up with a slightly better effort in the second series against the Niagara Falls Thunder. Was exceptional against the Oshawa Generals. Pair of 88s going head-to-head much of that series. Colin Miller, Eric Lindros. Miller's here, and he's had a couple of good chances in this game.
Wade Whitten, number 9, up on the faceoff for Sault Ste. Marie. Kowalski and Tom McDonald up front with him. Tiley fires it in wide. Gowdy can't get the shot on goal. Tiley back to pick it up. Here comes Tiley. Plot knocks it down. Throwing it back there for Jutras. Tapped away by Tiley. McDonald going for the net. Whitten trying to get it to him. McDonald crashing in there. Can't get the shot in, however. Tiley rips it back in. Kowalski up to forecheck. He has a flyby, but can't come up with it. And Tiley can't keep it in. Gowdy, number 7, hustling back there to pick it up. Being watched by Corbett. Kowalski. gained some headway. Corbett just sends it back out. Here's McDonald now. Legault back up for Drummondville. Lenarduzzi just sticks that over to the corner. Adam Foote picks it up. Legault gives him a bump. Basillo gets it up ahead. Intranuvo steps in. Trying to lift one up for the top shelf, but Gagnon pulls it down and he will hang on. Both goaltenders playing steady. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engine. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in Canada, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Welcome back to Le Colisée in Quebec City. I'm Paul Romanek with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. Glad you could join us for Game 1 of this 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. The Drummenville Voltigeurs and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds tied at 1. 9:45 to play in the second period. Patrice Brisebois just drops it back into his own end for Guy Lahou. Lahou trying to slip the aggressive checking of Mike DeKoff, number 19. Here's Brisebois now. Brisebois hits the line. Comes in with Prue. In deep. He's headed off with the pass there by Imber. Very solid defensive defenseman. Imber with a bead on him. Here's Foote to pick it up now. Up to Intranuvo. One-on-one against Brisebois. Steps in. Can't beat him. Prue to Brisebois. He will knife it in off the boards. And both teams making some changes in the fly. Here's Sean Imber. Back for Sault Ste. Marie. Lots of room. Stepping in. Matzos centers it in front. That's knocked away by Gagnon. And the Voltigeurs turn it back. Chassé. For Larche. Tied up in front of the net. Couldn't get the shot away. Dupre after it down on the corner. He's being tied up. Chassé comes up. Gives his man Basillo a bump. And they will tie it up and we'll get a face-off down in Sault Ste. Marie territory.
Well, some pretty impressive pros have played for the Zoo Greyhounds in the past, and there's probably going to be some more in the future as well. Lenarduzzi headed for the Hartford Whalers when his junior career is over. Adam Foote looks like he's going to fit in very well on a very young Quebec Nordic team that grows into the 90s. And Bob Bugler is a guy who will try to ply his trade with the Detroit Red Wings. Bugler, a very unheralded player, a real inspirational leader, the heart and soul, in fact, of this Sault Ste. Marie team. Adam Foote, they're probably their most talented defenseman.
And playing in an arena in which he will become very familiar, no doubt, as the years pass. He's a draft pick of the Quebec Nordiques. Here's Charrois. Lots of room. Can't land it on goal. Matzos dropping down, able to block it. Lars trying to get it in front. Knocked away. Foote chops at it. Chassé getting it out in front. Snapping it towards the goal there was Dupre. That's knocked down. Dupre continues to chase, but Tiley gets it out. Here comes Colin Miller. Miller waiting for the reinforcements to come up. Gets it across. Here's Bugner. Fires it in just wide of the net. Lambert tied up along the boards by Martin Charrois. And they will scrum it up and we'll get a face-off down in Drummondville territory with 7:41 to play in the second period. A 1-1 hockey game.
Big Denny Lambert, last year's leader for penalty minutes in the Ontario Hockey League, has learned to play a more disciplined style this year. A native of Wawa, Ontario, just a couple hours north of Sault Ste. Marie, and the home of the famous Wawa Goose. And Lambert battling in there against Martin Charrois, defenseman for the Drummondville Voltigeurs. You'll notice that the Sioux Greyhounds wear the half visor. The Quebec teams all wear a full visor. It's mandatory regulation for Quebec teams to do that. And in the past, when Ontario teams or teams from the West came into Quebec, they also had to put on the full visor, but that rule is now being waived by the Quebec Ice Hockey Federation.
Although, did you notice how high up on the helmet the visor is on most of the Ontario players? And that's something that will likely be looked at, I would think, in the off-season. Because many of the players affixed them to the helmet tilted back so far they don't offer any protection at all.
Not only that, the helmet ceases to perform its full function that way.
Puck fired in. Rebound is picked up there by Paquette. Danino with a shot. Leonard Doozy hangs on. No rebound.
Good shot by Danino. Leonard Doozy stands his ground. We have a brief moment of excitement. You feel like going down and give these players a shake, saying, come on, guys, pick it up. This is the Memorial Cup. I'm sure both teams a little bit nervous. And the byproduct is that we've seen a very uneven game. It's had its moments, but there's been very little sustained action. Certainly not the high-tempo hockey that Coach Ted Nolan instructs his team to play. Perhaps some of it's an atmosphere situation. Coach Jean Hamel looks on. We're in the Colisée that holds almost 15,000 people, and my guess is it's lucky to be half full at this point.
And again, you mentioned it earlier, not to take anything away from any of the teams that are here, in particular the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, but many Quebec hockey fans hoping that Eric Lindros would be here for the obvious reason that he is going to be the first pick in the NHL draft and likely property of the Quebec Nordiques. And they would have loved to have gotten a sneak preview of him.
And Paul, as far as the competitive balance is concerned, it's better to have Sault Ste. Marie here. They're a much fresher team than Oshawa. If Oshawa was here, I think there'd be some problems insofar as the Oshawa Generals simply ran out of gas.
And an elbowing penalty coming up here. It is going to go against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Number 10, Jason Denemy heading over towards the penalty box.
Denemy gave the cross-check sign to the referee as if to say, if you're going to get the penalty, at least call it correctly. Although perhaps he's talking about a cross-check he might have received earlier. No question he got the elbow up there as he just threw himself into a pair of Drummenville players.
So we talked about good young players. Eric Lindros a few moments ago. Gord Miller standing by with another fine young hockey player.
Thanks very much, Paul. Scott Niedermeyer, the Western Hockey League Scholastic Player of the Year. Scott, obviously tough just to be watching here instead of playing. Bob McKenzie threw the hex on your Kamloops Blazers when he picked them to win the Western Hockey League.
Yeah, we had a tough series with Spokane. They handled us pretty easily. It would have been nice to have been back here. We were here last year, and we ended up kind of maybe not playing as well as we should have, and it'd be nice to would have had another shot at it.
There's a ton of NHL scouts, general managers here. What do you think of your draft prospects? Have you talked to any of the GMs?
I haven't really talked to anyone too seriously here. Just more of meeting some guys and stuff like that. I think it's going to be tight. I think there's a lot of good players out there, so nothing said, I don't think, until the last few minutes down in the draft, I think.
Scott, thanks very much. Let's go back to Paul Romanek.
Remember how well Niedermeyer played last year with Kamloops in the Memorial Cup? He was exceptional as a rookie. Let go with his shot. Knocked down in front of the net. Dandino was parked right there. Couldn't scoop home the rebound.
I'll tell you this, I'm taking an absolute beating here on these predictions I'm making. I think from now on I'm going to get Paul Romanek and Gord Miller to make their predictions as well. I'm the only one out on the limb.
Dandino steps up. Nice bounce off the glass in front of the net. Picked up by Kiley, and he'll move it back the other direction. Intranuvo is stopped. Brisebois picking his pocket. He's up and back the other way. Up along the boards. Dupre trying to come in. He's stopped. 45 seconds left in the man advantage for Drummondville. 5:50 left in the second period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Chassé with Larsh going for the front of the net along with Dupre, but Chassé is waylaid by Foot. Intranuvo back for the Greyhounds. Up to Basillo. Brisebois there to pick it up. 20 seconds left in the Drummondville power play. Denis Chassé bumps with Foot, and offside called on Drummondville. 12 seconds still to go in the power play. 5:22 to go in the second period.
Drummenville has been unable to gear up its offense. It is the number 2 offense in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League this season, 4.72 goals per game. And I don't think they're on that pace right now, having scored 1, and there's only 5:22 left in this period. Sioux Greyhounds, on the other hand, are the number 1 defense in the Ontario Hockey League, have permitted only 3.27 goals against per game over the course of the regular season.
The question is, can these two teams sustain this pace for another period? It has been a relaxed pace in this hockey game.
I think what they're doing, Paul, is they're lulling the Spokane Chiefs and Chicoutimi Saguenay's into a false sense of security. Because I'm certain that the Spokane team, which is the favorite coming into this, is looking at this game tonight and saying, hey, boys, it's in the bag. And that is, in fact, a danger. Spokane has been a team that has been known to get overconfident and not give its opponents the respect it deserves. And in junior hockey, you always must be careful not to underestimate your foe. And this is a classic case. Neither team playing inspiring hockey at this point, but either one of them capable of coming back the next night and shooting out the lights.
Here's Legault. Trying to get it in over the blue line, and offside, a game called on Drummondville. You know, one of the reasons, Bob, I think you're not afraid to make the bold predictions you do, like Mike Torkey being the hero of the World Junior Championship, is because you force your young son, who we caught in the crowd, to eat the hat, and not you eating the words.
Oh, there he is. Back in Saskatoon at the World Junior Championships. Yes, that is my son, Michael. And say hi to him and his mother as they prepare for Mother's Day tomorrow. Sure, I join everybody.
There's Mom there.
There's Mom reaching over trying to control the youngster. And she's doing a lot of that this week, I'm sure.
Footwalk again, trying to get it in front of the net. Jutras knocks it away. Corbett cuts it over the blue line. He's got Plant with him. Here's Plant shooting. Leonard Doozy got the pad on it, and it's cleared back outside the line. Teams at even strength. 4:50 to play in the second period. Leonard Doozy dropping it off in back of the net for Imber. Up around the boards and out. Jutras tried to deck it ahead there to Corbett. Knocked down. Here's Adam Foote. In comes Matsos. Tried to sneak it in there, but Gagnon, following the play well, just hangs onto it with 4:26 to go in the second period.
Let's obviously make fun of Bob Knight here on the first night of the Memorial Cup. Mike Leonard-Doozy, of course, part of that Oshawa General trade that sent Eric Lindros to the Generals and brought a number of players back to Sault Ste. Marie. In fact, a very large impact. Mike Leonard-Doozy came up to the Sioux. Jason Denemy, Mike DeKoff. Sault Ste. Marie also got to pick the first overage player off the Generals roster this year, which is Joe Basillo. They got a second-round draft pick in 1990, which is Drew Bannister, a young guy. They got another second-round draft pick in 1991, and they get to pick Oshawa's second overage player next year, as well as a bundle of cash, $80,000 in cash from Oshawa to Sault Ste. Marie. And the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds will also receive Lindros's NHL development money, which is between $25,000 and $30,000. So that's $100,000 and the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hockey players.
And Gagnon juggles it around and hangs on. But you know that the Oshawa Generals, with all the sellouts they've had with Eric Lindros there, more than made back their
money. They got back their money manifold. And the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are not complaining. There's certainly some interesting things. Everybody talks about Eric Lindros, whether he'll show up to the Quebec Nordique. There's the notion of trading the first pick overall. Sault Ste. Marie was forced to do it, and it's worked out pretty well for them.
.4:10 to play, second period. 1-1 hockey game. Game 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Pekarak trying to get it in front. It just rolls through the goal crease and wide. Colin Miller starting back. He comes in for the Greyhounds. Miller steps up. Denemy breaking for the net. Can't knock it in. He had Lehoux right in his back pocket. Here comes Brisebois. Prue trying to play it off the boards. Knocked back outside the line. Dandeneau. Cleared in by Desjardins. And the Voltigeurs make some changes in the fly with 3.5 minutes to play in the second period. A 1-1 hockey game. Prue scoring for Drummondville back in the first period. Tony Yob scoring for Sault Ste. Marie early in this second period. Adam Foote dumping it in. Desjardins picks it up. Chassé is clearing it down the ice. Icing is waved off. Dupre up after it, number 21. He'll be joined in the chase by Roger Larche. Larche wheeling back in the net. And he couldn't get it away from Sean Imber. Here's Charrois. Basillo now. Up to Intranuvo. Larche knocks it down. Charrois steps up to take charge, losing it though. Intranuvo comes in. He's got the cop with him with a shot just wide. Dupre for Larche. Chassé with a shot, and Leonard Doozy dragging the pad. 2 sparkling saves. Here's Foote. Up to Imber. Puck just cleared in by DeKoff. Both teams making some changes. 2:05 to play in the second period. 1-1. Voltigeurs out across center. Dave Paquette dropping it back for LaPerriere. Can't get the shot on goal. Kiley down in the corner. Battling with Paquette. Paquette gets it in front, but nobody home for the Voltigeurs. Lambert coming in. He's got Reed breaking for the net. Couldn't get it to him. Reed being watched closely. Kowalski along the boards, battling with Lambert. And finally, they tie it up with 1:34 to play in the second period, and everybody will come in to have a say in this little episode.
The Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker presents the industry's best circular saw with the industry's best circular saw offer. This professional palm sander free with every saw cat. The all-new saw cat from Black & Decker. Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt with more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt.
Leonard Doozy comes up with 2 big saves. First on Denny Chassé. Takes a low, hard shot that Leonard Doozy kicked out the pad, got the toe on it. The rebound came back out to number 45, Roger Larche, and he slipped it in. There's the first big save, and here comes the second one. Good job by Leonard Doozy to get back up on his feet, get back in position, and kick out that puck on a shot by Larche.
Well, that is Ian LaPerriere in the penalty box for Drummondville.
All the players were pushing in the corner. It looks as though LaPerriere came in. Well, I know he came in after the whistle and really gave a big shove into the middle of it all, but LaPerriere is the only man going off with a penalty. Certainly Teddy Nolan gets to go on the power play as his team does. Sort of a confusing call, I would think, considering that there was just a big scrum down there, and I'm sure Coach Jean Hamel is not happy that his team's taking undisciplined penalties, but also not happy that the call was made, period.
And actually, it's a 5-on-5. There are offsetting minors, but there is no Sault Ste. Marie player in the penalty box.
Well, I take back all that power play talk, Paul. Question is, where's the missing Greyhound?
Brisebois gets it up off the boards, off Kiley's skate. Jutras picks it up, comes in. Leonard Doozy, one stop, and he makes the second one. 2 good chances. Rene Corbett, ever dangerous, sweeping in towards the net. Corbett back of the goal, can't get it out in front for Plante. Corbett in the corner now, still trying to dig it loose. Charrois fires it in. Leonard Doozy the save, loose in front, and finally it ends up underneath the pile with 1 minute to play in the second period.
Good work by Leonard Doozy. Rene Corbett right on the doorstep, trying to hammer in the rebound. Now we've got all sorts of pushing and shoving down there, but Corbett had a good chance slightly earlier. And Lenarduzzi came up with a big save, and then the rebound was put either up onto the stick of Lenarduzzi or right into the post. Zutra puts the puck over, a nice backhand pass, and watch Corbett drive to the net. This is why the scouts are so high on him. There's the first shot, and he kicks the other one up against and hits the post. If that had gone into the net, I'm sure it wouldn't have counted. A few moments later, Corbett had another one, but on this one, watch the second shot. He takes it with his skate. There's no question that if that puck had have gone into the net, it wouldn't have been counted. And again, Corbett goes to the net. A hard shot from the point. Corbett parks himself there, tried to knock that puck out of the air. In fact, did get a stick on it, and he was cleared out by Bob Bugner with a big hit.
And Tony Yob also sent to the penalty box as a result of that pile-up down in front of his goaltender, Mike Lenarduzzi.
Well, Yob was very upset because behind the play, Claude Jutras, number 29 for Drummenville, took a very hard whack across Yob's arm. Yob was furious that there was no penalty on the play, and the fact that it happened, he came back into the play, took another foolish penalty. And again, we've seen a lot of that tonight. Neither team showing as much composure as their coaches would like them to.
1 minute to play in the second period, a 1-1 hockey game. And a power play chance now for Drummenville. Corbett goes to the front of the net. They can't get the pass to him. Basillo breaks it up.
Good defensive play by Sean Imber.
.40 seconds left in the period. Sherwa comes in. Drummenville on the power play. Power play will carry over into the next period unless they score. Corbett with a chance to do just that. Lenarduzzi standing his ground. The light came on, but the whistle had already gone. And referee Benoit Lapointe there to wave off the goal. It will not count. 28 seconds to go in the period.
Corbett has another opportunity, fires it. Lenarduzzi puts the squeeze on the pads. Came rushing in. The light went on. The puck did go in the net, but I think it was, I believe very strongly, that it was after the whistle.
Oh, there's no question it was after the whistle.
Rene Corbett starting to come on in this period and generate some offensive opportunities, and that's what he does best. He is just a natural goal scorer who has not scored. Watch Corbett come out from the corner. Imber gave up the puck up against the boards. And there you'll see Lenarduzzi standing his ground, Imber coming in. There you'll see the puck on the boards. Good job by the defenseman to poke it up ahead. Imber pinched in, was unable. And there's the puck coming in and the net off the moorings.
And the whistle had gone. Play was whistled dead after the referee, Benoit Lapointe, lost sight of it when Lenarduzzi had it squeezed between his pads. 28 seconds to go in the period. Drummenville on the power play. 1-1 hockey game. Larsh gets it back. Here's Charrois. Chassé parked in the top of the slot. He'll come to get it now. Brisebois moves in back of the net. Brisebois looking for Larsh in front. Or Dupre. Chassé with a shot. Big rebound is cleared with 10 seconds left in the period.
Foote and Brisebois really going at it. A pair of defensemen. Foote is ultra aggressive. He will make you pay the price in front of his net.
And Foote with a little bit of bumping after the whistle with Yannick Dupre. Drummondville's power play will carry over into the second period for the first, or into the third period rather, for the first minute and 1 second. It's a 1-1 hockey game through two.
Well, Coach Ted Nolan got his goal, got his team equal in that period. But again, on both sides, a lot of undisciplined play, not a lot of flow. And I'm sure that the Sioux Greyhounds will want to come out in the third and turn up the tempo of this hockey game a little bit.
Second intermission coming up with a preview. Here's Gord Miller.
Moment coming up. Intermission, we'll go back to our TSN Control Center for a sports update. And Bob McKenzie spends some time talking about Eric Lindros in his edition of The Notebook. Sault Ste. Marie has tied it up at 1-2 here at the Memorial Cup 1991 in Quebec City. We'll be back with our second intermission in a moment.
Honey, I know we're on a low cholesterol kick, but If I eat much more salad, I'll turn into a rabbit.
Well, how about a McCain pizza? It's okay. It's a McCain Tender Crisp. And it's low cholesterol.
Low cholesterol pizza.
It says so right on the box.
Low cholesterol pizza. Great idea.
Great pizza, too.
McCain Tender Crisp in individual and family sizes. Low cholesterol, too.
Because man cannot live by salad alone.
You always hurt the one you love.
People have a love-hate relationship with their cars. They love them, but they don't always treat them right. And like all Subarus, the new Legacy Turbo was built to take a lot of loving, which is one very good reason the automobile journalists voted Subaru Family Sedan of the Year again.
Introducing the new standard of high performance, the Supreme Custom 3000 by Bauer.
Duracell, the one that lasts.
Whether it's a peaceful ride through the countryside or a knee-dragging blitz around a world-class circuit like this one in Japan, we bring you the entire world of the motorcycle rider. Hi, I'm Dave Hatch. Join me each week for Motorcycle Rider here on PSN.
The only goal of the second period scored by Sault Ste. Marie. The Greyhounds have tied Drummenville at 1. Well, we're keeping an eye on this hockey game. The gang at TSN is keeping an eye on the rest of the world of sports. Let's go to our TSN Control Center. Here's Chris Stevens.
Thank you, Gordon. Let's bring you up to date with all the other action going on in baseball, hockey, basketball. Busy Saturday in sports. We'll start with hockey. Game 6 Wales Conference Final. This game in Pittsburgh at the Igloo. Penguins leading the series 3-2 and a chance to wrap it up with a win tonight. Penguins test Andy Moog. First minute of play, Mario Lemieux to Mark Recchi. Moog comes up big. Then Pittsburgh on the power play. Penguins with a great chance, but Moog makes another big save. Knuckles Nyland, Chris Nyland continues to try to intimidate the Penguins. Watch as he roughs up Phil Bourque behind the net. 7 minutes into the period. Second period, Bruins on the power play. Jim Weimer's shot from the point, tipped in by Cam Neely, his 16th of the playoffs. Boston went ahead 1-0 and is now 2-1. Boston leading this game. Ken Hodge has added a goal for the Bruins. Larry Murphy has scored the goal for Pittsburgh. Second period action. Penguins trying to wrap it up. To baseball now, the Toronto Blue Jays playing host to the Chicago White Sox at the Sky Dome this afternoon, the third game of their series this week at the Sky Dome. Let's go to the action now. Full house on hand, over 50,000 taking in this game. The roof open at the Sky Dome. Top of the first. Chicago starts fast. Robin Ventura singles to left field. Lance Johnson scores 2-0 Chi Sox. Bottom of the third, Toronto comes right back. Mark Whitman drives one down the right field line. Pat Dabler comes in to score. Jays now trail 2-1. The very next batter, Glenn Allen Hill, and he will take this Charlie Huff offering over the wall. Left field, it's gone. A 2-run shot for Glenn Allen Hill. Toronto now leads 3-2. Bottom of the fifth now, and the Jays add another run on a weird play. Joe Carter pops the ball up. Ron Karkovice, watch him, tries to make the catch. Goes right behind him. Misplays it. Ed Sprague comes in to score from second. Toronto up 4-2 after 5. The Jays go on to win this game. 5-2 is the final score. Dwayne Ward came in for his 10th save of the season. He is filling in very well with Tom Hankey of the lineup. Elsewhere, Boston edging Texas 5-4. Dana Kicker picking up the win. This means the Bo Sox are still 2 games up on the Blue Jays in that American League East Division race. It is second inning action with Detroit leading Minnesota 4-2 at the Metrodome. NBA playoff action, 2 games on Saturday. We'll start with the Celtics against the Pistons. This game at the Palace in Auburn Hills. The Celtics have never won there before. Everything went right for the Celtics in this game. D. Brown shot missed. Robert Parrish there for the rebound, though. Fourth quarter, Kevin McHale finds Brian Shaw cutting to the hoop. And here's the final. Boston winning it big time, 115-83. The final. Celtics lead the series 2-1. Next, Western semifinal, Portland losing to Utah 107-101 was the final score. Trailblazers lead the series 2-1. Qualifying got underway today for the Indianapolis 500 at the Brickyard, and clinching spots in the front row, Rick Mears, A.J. Foyt, and Mario Andretti. Of course, the Monaco Grand Prix goes this weekend as well. Back to Gord Miller now in Quebec City. Gord?
The opening game of the 1991 Memorial Cup is tied at 1 after 2 between Drummondville and Sault Ste. Marie. We'll have Bob McKenzie and the Notebook when our second intermission continues live on TSN.
Hey, you guys hear about Goodyear's big Grand Slam tire sale? 4 tires for the price of 3.
4 for the price of 3? Why didn't you tell me?
I did.
You did not.
I told you, but you never want to tell me about it.
You don't write a word I say. What?
Did you hear that? 4 tires for the price of 3?
Yes.
Deals like that don't come along every day.
Let me see here. 4, carry the 3. Wow, that's a good deal.
The Goodyear Grand Slam tire sale. 4 for the price of 3 on selected tires and many other great values.
Now to get to Goodyear, go down here, turn right. Now then.
Only Sony brings you CD players so advanced that even play discs damaged by dust, static, scratches, or rover. Sony CD players for sound you can sink your teeth into.
There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking.
Someone walks into our branch every now and then who could have been my dad 40 years ago. He didn't bring much money to Canada, but he had a skill, a lot of confidence, and Scotiabank to help him find his feet. He's never forgotten that. Never lets me forget it either. He thinks that's why I came to work here, and he could be right.
Scotia Banking. It's banking plus caring. Wendy's new country fried hamburger, Junior Hamburger Deluxe, hot baked potato with sour cream. Fresh Caesar salad, secret recipe chili, and chili cheese nachos. Regular fries, regular size Coca-Cola Classic, and 12-ounce Frosties. Super quality and taste on Wendy's super value menu. 9 items, just 99 cents each.
Look, I know you have less to spend these days, but that doesn't mean you have to eat less.
9 delicious items, just 99 cents each every day. That's Wendy's super value menu.
Welcome back to the Colisée and the 1991 Memorial Cup. Eric Lindros has been getting a lot of headlines in this city in the last couple of days, and Bob McKenzie focuses in on number 88 in this edition of Bob's Notebook.
And on page 1 of the notebook, a little of the expected and a little bit of the unexpected, as expected, at least by most of us. Spokane is, in fact, here to represent the Western Hockey League, not Kamloops, as some of us seem to indicate in their stretch run predictions. Nonetheless, the unexpected, Eric Lindros here in Quebec, but not in an Oshawa Generals uniform, but rather his civvies.
Yeah, and he's really made the big splash so far. The Memorial Cup has almost taken a back seat to Eric Lindros arriving in town. He came in on Friday afternoon with his agent, Rick Curran. There were obviously a lot of media following him around, trying to watch every move, scrutinize the young man. He was at a cocktail party where he was the center of much attention on Friday night. And then the media got their first real crack at him this morning, and according to all reports, handled himself extremely well. Came across as very charming, very nice. Of course, he didn't really say anything in terms of concrete as to what his intentions are after the NHL entry draft, but nevertheless, the whole city seems to be taken with him. The question remains, will he be taken with the city?
How realistic a shot did the Quebec Nordiques have at signing him? Depends on who you talk to. I know over at the World Championship, Quebec management speaking as though it's going to happen for sure. He'll be here next year. Then you read in the papers, many people saying, not a chance.
Well, I'm very good friends with his agent, Rick Curran. However, friendship is one thing and professional business is another, and he doesn't really let me in on exactly what their plans are. I really think it's a dollars and cents issue, that Eric Lindros is very much a child of the 90s, if you will, and the way the hockey has gone has really become a big business in the National Hockey League. We're going to see that this summer with collective bargaining negotiations. The players are getting very tough in their demands, and I would assume that Eric Lindros is going to be very tough in his demands and ask for a precedent-setting contract. The question is, can the Nordiques afford it? They've got a small building. They're trying to get a new building now. If they sign Lindros and they're trying to sign Valery Kamensky from the Soviet Union, it's going to throw the entire payroll out of whack. It's going to be very interesting to see what offer the Quebec Nordiques come back, and I think a lot of what will happen is predicated on that.
Well, regardless of whether or not they sign Eric Lindros, they've sure had the checkbook out the last couple of weeks, keeping lots of people interested in hockey here in Quebec.
Yeah, they picked up trying to steal a little bit of thunder of the Memorial Cup, I guess, signing 3 free agents this week. Denny Chassé, who are watching in tonight's game, signed to the Quebec Nordiques. Spokane Chief defenseman John Clem also signed a contract, as did Chicoutimi right-winger Stéphane Charbonneau. So the Nordiques are making a little hay of their own this week, and it's a good opportunity for them, the Memorial Cup being here. There's been no hockey played here since April. This is their opportunity to get out, do some marketing, pump up the fans, and show them that they're working towards building a team for next year.
In terms of predictions, you had, I guess, the same kind of season that the Quebec Nordiques had.
Not too good.
Sort of one of those years. That does it for this edition of Bob's Notebook. Lots more still to come. You're watching the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship on TSN.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
Super crisp, super spirals, McCain. What have you done to my fries? We've spiced them up. All right. We've crisped them up. Brilliant. We've even curled them up. Excellent. McCain has taken its famous super fries, dipped them in light batter, and surrounded them with bite after bite of crispy, crunchy, super spicy satisfaction. Straight ahead or curled around. New Super Crisps and Super Spirals from McCain. You'll love what we've done to your fries.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay. Imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hunk. It's only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
Regular shampoos won't fix your problem.
Ordinary shampoos just rinse flakes away, but the flakes come back. With Head & Shoulders, the dandruff is gone.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
Bingo.
Head & Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Welcome back to the Colisée game number 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Hockey Championship. Time now for the play of the period, brought to you by Longines Wittenauer. Mike Lenarduzzi faced only a few shots in that second period, but this one was the most dangerous, and what a chance it was for Denny Chassé. Kicked out by Lenarduzzi. 2 outstanding saves as Sault Ste. Marie remains tied with Drummondville 1-1 after 2. The play of the period is brought to you by Longines Wittenauer, superb jewelry that tells time. We'll be back with more in our second intermission on TSN in just a moment.
The experts on regular maintenance.
We know the entire history of your car.
Regular maintenance, diagnostic checks, you gotta have them.
Change the filters, change the oil, rotate the tires.
Maintenance makes your car run better, last longer. Some people think GM quality costs more. It doesn't. In the long run, it saves you money.
Nobody knows your GM vehicle better than your GM team. GM Parts and Service, the expert choice.
Molson Cooper proudly presents the 1991 Memorial Cup, brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. By Cooper Canada, the official equipment supplier to the CHL and a proud co-sponsor of the Memorial Cup. And by Shell, maker of the performance gasoline, Formula Shell. Only 1 goal in the second period. It was scored by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. 1:54 into the period. Tony Yob gets the puck at the side of the net as Colin Miller flipped it in. Yob on the wraparound scores his first of the tournament. And it was a big one as Sault Ste. Marie evened the game at 1. And that's our score after 2 periods of play. Yob with the only goal of that period. And Brad Tiley gets the only assist as Sault Ste. Marie outshot Drummondville, or was outshot by Drummondville 15-12 in that period. Now, for more on the third period, let's go upstairs to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie.
And Ted Nolan and company will start off this third period. playing a man short for the first minute. Tony Yob is in the penalty box.
Well, John Hamel would love his team to cash in on this power play. Right now, they're 0 for 4. If they can't score here, they're going to make it 0 for 5, which is what the Sioux Greyhounds are tonight. And either team could have put the other one away with any kind of power play action at all.
Here's Chassé. Can't get around Imber. 45 seconds left in the Drummondville power play. Here's Adam Foote for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Up along the boards to Vasillo. He gets it down the ice. 40 seconds left in the man advantage for Drummondville. Patrice Brisebois back to pick it up. Up to Larche. Pulls away from Vasillo. Up to Chassé. Back to Larche. In there, shoots. And just fired that one wide. He had a bead in the top corner. 20 seconds left in the power play.
I really like the way Lenarduzzi came up, cut the angle down. He had to be a good 15, 20 feet out of his net, not giving a whole heck of a lot for Lars to shoot at.
Here's Brisebois. Chassé with it now. And the penalized player, Tony Yob, steps out of the penalty box. Team back at even strength. We play exactly 1 minute of this third period, a 1-1 hockey game.
Well, 0 for 5 now on the power play. Both teams 0 for 5. And Sault Ste. Marie had that two-man advantage on 2 occasions. So Jean Hamel trying to get his team going here. Trying to get a little emotion going on that team, perhaps.
And did I hear anyone mention overtime?
19 minutes to go. We'll save that one for a little while, Paul.
Well, I figure I put the hex on both teams now. It'll open up a little bit and we'll have some offense. Both teams playing it very conservatively so far in the game. Here comes Yob. Drops it back for Miller. He is tied up. Zips it right through the slot. Nobody home for Sault Ste. Marie. Drummondville coming back. Plot. In over the blue line. Jutras up there with him. Corbett's there too. But back to break it up. Rick Kowalski. Up to Yob. He comes in. Miller trailing. Here's Yob. Pulled away by Corbett. Back now for Drummondville. Corbett still gets it across. Pass a little bit too far for Plot. Picks it up in the corner now. Plot centers it in front. Corbett with a chance. Can't get the shot on goal. Desjardins moves up. Snaps it from the sharp angle but can't find the target. Legault keeps the pressure on. Dumps it around back of the net. Bob Bugner picks it up and manages to move the puck out to center for the Greyhounds. Desjardins flips it right back in. Both teams making changes in the go.
It's Drummondville's second line with Rene Corbett, Eric Plante, and Claude Jutras. It seems to be generating the chances for Drummondville.
Here comes Reed. Shoots. Gagnon the save and the rebound scooped up. Here comes Paquette. And Lenarduzzi will hang on to that.
Lenarduzzi, a good stand-up goaltender. Paquette comes in off the wing and flips a weak backhand up. The key here is Lenarduzzi stood his ground, stood up, and he's done that all night long, showing very good. As opposed to a weak backhand, a good forehand, rather. Down at the other end, Jarrett Reed comes over and fires a hard shot that's kicked out by Pierre Gagnon. Knocks him right over, and there's the rebound, but it never does make it to the net. Gagnon back up on his feet very quickly, too.
A 1-1 hockey game, game 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Drummondville and Sault Ste. Marie all tied up. We are early in the third period. I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller at Le Colisée in Quebec City. David Matsos, number 11, bumping with a number 11, Niki Leou. Dandino can't get it out. Legault back to pick it up. Up around the boards, LaPerriere couldn't knock down the pass. Matsos moves it ahead. Here's Lambert. Tried to sneak it through on goal, knocked down by LaPerriere. Imber clears it back in for the Greyhounds. Trying to apply a bit of pressure right in front of the net. Lambert couldn't slam home the pass. Back come the Voltigeurs. Desjardins drops it back. LaPerriere with a shot just high and wide. Lambert back for Sault Ste. Marie. Comes in with Reed. Reed cutting into the net, drops it back in front for Lambert, but he was tied up. Lambert back in the net, couldn't dig it loose. Here's Paquette. Long shot, Lenarduzzi bats that away. Tiley slips the check. Up to DeCoff. And play is called. The Drummenville net actually dislodged from the moorings, and thus we get the stoppage.
You know, there are a lot of high levels of discussions going on this Memorial Cup. In our second intermission, we caught Paul Romanek talking to Jacques Demers. And, Paul, I don't know what you guys were talking about, but my guess would be that Jacques did most of the talking.
Talking about a good place to eat afterwards, actually, is what we're talking about.
Jacques doing radio color commentary for the Quebec Nordiques. And probably angling for a job back in the National Hockey League. Every time a job comes open as a coach or a general manager, a name that always pops up, Jacques Demers.
Well, I mentioned the Ottawa job, and he just kind of gave that non-committal smile. DeCoff moving up, back for Basillo, powers one right on, and Gagnon will hold on.
Joe Basillo, one of the heroes from the last series against the Oshawa Generals, a former Oshawa General appearing in his second consecutive Memorial Cup. If you remember back to the games we had in Hamilton last year, you may remember Joe Basillo as a very effective member of a line with Dale Craigwell and Corey Vanica. In fact, it was that line that scored in a double overtime game against the Kitchener Rangers in the round-robin portion. Provided some great excitement. He's really been an inspiration and leader with this Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound team.
Joe Basillo voted the hardest worker in the Ontario Hockey League Coaches Poll. Here's Chassé. Looking for Larsh, who was moving up with him, couldn't get it to him. DeCoff leaving it there. DeCoff working it in, just tic-tac-toe passing. DeCoff after it in the corner, trying to get it in front. Basillo was up there with him. Bugner. Charrois. Doubling it back in. Tiley knocks it down. Intranuvo shoots that one, and it's tipped way up over the glass and out of play. Be sure to listen up at the conclusion of tonight's game for the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you tonight by Armor All.
Are you treating your baby right?
Armor All protected every time you wash your car.
1-1 hockey game in the third period, 15-19 to play. Prue scoring for Drummondville at 8:59 of the first period, and Yob scoring for Sault Ste. Marie at 1:54 of the second. Corbett stepping in for Drummondville. Jutras going for the front of the net. Lenarduzzi just knocks it away. Corbett almost pulled back away in front. Denemy, cross ice. Yob streaking in there, looking to get it in front, but he's tied up. Lehoux had a grip on him, and the net coming off the pegs, and we get another stoppage.
Jason Denemy ended up in a scrum around the net, knocking the net off the moorings as Tony Yob went by. Yob going into the corner, being held off by Guy Lehoux, defenseman, the best defensive defenseman on the Drummondville team. He had his hands full with Yob, but ran him into the end boards. Yob trying to get a penalty and talking to the referee, but just good defensive work by Lehoux. Lehoux is the perfect partner for Patrice Brisebois. They play together all season because Lehoux is so steady defensively. Patrice Brisebois loves to go with the puck, and this is one of the reasons he's the best defensive defenseman. Yob's a big, strong guy, but Lehoux manages to steer him away, gets the stick around him, and then drives him hard into the corner and up against the glass. Gave him a little bit of a pick-me-up.
He played really well in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Ontario Hockey League All-Star Challenge. The key member of the Quebec defense in that game.
He and Eric Levine, a defenseman with the Hull Olympics, were both very good defensively in that game. Both caught a lot of the scouts' attention.
Bouncing puck. And Gagnon decides to settle things down and hang on. Denny Lambert a little frustrated. The puck was bouncing on him just right out by the hash marks. and he couldn't get a grip on it.
Lambert tries to pick up this loose puck, spins around, gets the shot away, but didn't get a lot on it. Gagnon just reaches out and picks it up. Denny Lambert was all over Stéphane Desjardins, the defenseman number 23. Desjardins just couldn't handle the big guy Lambert. Gagnon alertly comes out, puts his glove over top, and causes a stoppage in play.
Lambert has really picked his spots this year. He had 169 penalty minutes, down from 276 last year. But still manages to put forth the same enthusiasm into his game. Here's Brisebois moving up, score! Patrice Brisebois makes it 2-1 Drummondville.
The Sault Ste. Marie defense guilty of backing in on top of the goaltender, and then Lenarduzzi allowed the shot. Not a particularly hard shot to go between his legs, but Brisebois basically goes coast to coast here. You watch Gowdy, number 7, backing up, coming in. They don't force the play. Kiley backs right in, and you'll see the puck go between Lenarduzzi's legs. A good job by the other Drummondville forward, number 77, I believe, Whittam, or Paquette rather. Paquette goes to the net, tying up Kiley. Gowdy had backed in, and Brisebois with a hard shot between Lenarduzzi's legs makes it 2-1 for Drummondville. Patrice Brisebois, playing in his 3rd consecutive Memorial Cup, made the trip the first 2 times with Laval. This year with Drummondville, he's played the entire season with them. He's got 2 gold medals from 2 World Junior Championships as well. He knows what it takes to win.
Ian LaPerriere picks up the only assist on Brisebois' goal. Greyhounds right back in off the faceoff. Joe Basillo crashing his way into Pierre Gagnon, and Gagnon will hang on to it.
That's what Basillo does best. He went hard to the net. Teddy Nolan would have loved to see a rebound come out there. He tries to fire up his team, get them playing with some intensity. Basillo did a good job of going to the net, got a backhand up high on Gagnon. And I almost thought for a moment that he was going to carry Gagnon right into the net with the puck before the whistle went. You see the loose puck right there. Gagnon managed to get it into his glove and cover up.
Brisebois picks up the goal. LaPerriere the assist at 5:38. 2-1 Drummondville on top.
Patrice Brisebois can be an adventure sometimes defensively, but offensively there's no question he's got the gift.
Basillo working it down into the corner. Mike DeKoff up there with him. Comes back out now. Bugner with a shot. Loose in front of the net. Cleared away. Here comes Dupre. Had Chassé breaking over on the wing. Came up there, tried to pull it away from Bugner. Mark Mateer. Mateer still finally knocked down along the boards and covers up the puck along the boards with 13:29 to play in the 3rd period. Drummondville up by a goal.
Our coverage of the 1991 Memorial Cup continues tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern as Chicoutimi takes on Sault Ste. Marie, and all eyes in Quebec City on Chicoutimi, felt by many to be Quebec's best chance to win its first Memorial Cup in 20 years.
Chicoutimi won the 1991 Quebec Major Junior Hockey League title. Drummondville played them in the final, and Drummondville was swept in 4 straight. You heard Alexander Legault talking with Gord Miller earlier in the game about the fact that maybe the layoff was a little bit too long before their series against Chicoutimi. Corbett battling his way in back of the goal. Gets it in front, but Lenarduzzi will just grab it and hang on to it.
And Paul, in fairness to the Drummondville Voltigeurs, there was a couple of one-goal games in there, and also Felix Potvin, the Toronto Maple Leaf draft pick, played so outstanding in net for Chicoutimi. The series maybe was a little closer than would lead you to believe when you see a 4-0 score.
Well, that layoff may have been a little long, according to Legault, but I tell you, their layoff between this game and tomorrow's won't be that long. They're right into it tomorrow afternoon against the Western Hockey League champions Spokane Chiefs, a team many feel is the team to beat at this tournament.
Well, when you're the host team, you draw the bad schedule, and as it should be, you're the fourth seed coming in. You're only here as a format quirk as opposed to really earning it. So you get the bad schedule.
Foot. Up off the boards. Desjardins clearing it back in.
Rene Corbett just about took off the head of Matsos, the blue line, away from the play. Some fans hollering for a penalty, others cheering at the aggressive nature of the Drummonville team.
Jutras given a bump along the boards by Matsos. A little payback. Plant back in the net. Jutras scores! Makes it 3-1 Drummonville.
Well, Paul, I take a lot of heat for bad predictions, but earlier in this period I said this is the line that's really been doing the job tonight. And there's another example here of Plant and Jutras combining. It's just a simple dump in, and when you can go in and dump in like that and come up with possession, you're doing something right. Let's watch this one unfold. Sault Ste. Marie has the puck behind the net. Imber stumbled, and the puck came back out to Plant. He just tucked it out to Jutras. And Lenarduzzi had come across, but overplayed it a little bit up against the post, leaving the far side open. But Sean Imber just stumbled a little behind the net. The puck came loose. And Drummonville capitalized on that opportunity. Have a 2-goal lead with 12:37 left in the third period.
Jutras gets the goal at 7:23. And that comes less than 2 minutes after Patrice Brisebois' goal to put Drummonville up 2-1. Bob Bubner clears it in. Charrois back to pick it up. Paquette out at center. Tiley just up to the line, but no further. Denemy comes in, picking his way through to the corner. In around back of the net, Miller looking for it. He's got Yob in front, and Denemy. Here's Tiley. LaPerriere back now for Drummonville. Paquette, right in front, scores! Paquette to LaPerriere, and it's 4-1.
Ian LaPerriere just waltzed around the Sault Ste. Marie defense, and again beat Lenarduzzi between the legs. Perhaps there's a scouting report on Lenarduzzi, but certainly the Drummonville players are just coming in and laying it in between Lenarduzzi's legs. And on that one, probably a goal that he would like to have back. Coming across, good drop pass there, and the puck comes back out, a give and go to LaPerriere. You see Paquette with the puck, throws it up to LaPerriere, and the 17-year-old just rifles it between the legs of Lenarduzzi. All of a sudden, Drummonville blows this game wide open with a 4-1 lead, and that's the type of hockey team they are. They're an offensive hockey team that struggles to play good defense, and I'll tell you right now, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are in trouble. Teddy Nolan berates his troops, tries to fire them up, and the reason is, we talked about it, they don't have a game breaker. If they're going to peck away at this 4-1 lead, they're going to have them all 3 lines, maybe 4 lines going, and hope for maybe a goal from each of them, because they don't have one line that will go out and dominate offensively.
Well, LaPerriere gets the goal from Paquette and Dandino at 8:09. 3 goals in about 2.5 minutes for Drummonville, blowing the doors off of this one. And it is 4-1 for the Voltigeurs. And Sault Ste. Marie, not a team that is going to barnstorm you with offense. So they are in tough. Adam Foote doesn't even get a foot. He was being watched closely in there. Finally out to center. It's Renouveau. Gets it across in front. DeCoff was breaking up for the slot. Chassé gets it off the boards and out. DeCoff hustling out to pick it up. Intronuvo. Here's Vasillo. Chassé picks it up. Here comes Larsh, trying to beat Foot. Pulled down, no penalty called. Chassé after it. Dupre up there as well. Foot will kick it away. Imber. Intronuvo stopped at the line. Larsh just swept it away from him. Both teams making changes on the fly. 10:35 to play, third period. 4-1 hockey game. Drummenville leading. The Voltigeurs with 3 goals in about 2.5 minutes here in the third period to really blow this one open. A real change in character in what had been a very conservative, very slow-paced hockey game. Neither team really wanting to open it up or take chances, and suddenly Drummenville striking. McDonald trying to knock it down. Tiley battling along the boards. Side of the net, Kowalski scores! Rick Kowalski jams it in. And it's 4-2.
Well, it's a start. The more than 100 fans who have made the trek from Sault Ste. Marie have something to cheer about finally. Good corner work here. The puck is flipped around behind the net. Kowalski comes around with a wraparound, and we've seen a few of those tonight. The puck passed over to him by number 17, Tom McDonald. And the fourth line does the job for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Tom McDonald, good corner work. Colin Miller throws the puck in the corner. McDonald dug it out, threw it around to Kowalski, and a guy who's done a good job tonight of penalty killing, chips in with some offense. And now the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds need their next line that's out there. Colin Miller with Tony Yob and Jason Denemy to try and come back and get another one. Plenty of time, 9:59 left. And I think the na-na-na-na hey-hey chant that was started a few moments ago might have been a little premature. We'll see.
McDonald and Tiley pick up the assists on Kowalski's goal at 10:01. Both Sault Ste. Marie goals have been scored on wraparounds. So you were talking about Drummondville maybe having the book on Leonard Doozy, trying to beat him through the legs. Maybe the book on Gagnon to beat him on the wraparound. Here's Miller. Up there with Denemy, but he can't even get it towards the slot. Legault. Back for Drummondville. Comes in, LaPerriere trailing. Paquette is up there on the play as well. And they'll tie it up in behind Mike Leonarduzzi.
Break away with Formula Shell.
Drummondville on top. Greyhounds nibbling away and still lots of time to nibble. 9:20.
Now, son.
Yes, Dad.
You got to work to get into fighting ring.
Right, Dad.
You got the old standbys, you know, the screen door dash or the front gate pounce.
Yes, Dad.
But this, oh, Henry, it'll get him every time. Watch, boy. Watch and learn.
Twizzlers make me very happy. I love the way they taste so chewy. So happy and oh so juicy.
Twizzlers makes your mouth so very happy.
apologize for the technical problems we're experiencing with our transmission lines between Quebec City and our TSN Control Center. We apologize for the audio problems. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Bob McKenzie. 4:58 to play in the third period. And as you've seen the last few minutes, Sault Ste. Marie really pressing. The defensemen started to move up and join the attack, and the Greyhounds trying to jump up and pull at least to within one goal.
A couple of excellent opportunities for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Got some words exchanged between the benches. Sault Ste. Marie had a real good opportunity a few moments ago. Mike DeCoff put the puck right between the legs of Pierre Gagnon. The puck rolled out the other side, almost into the net, but just by the post. Sault Ste. Marie mounting the big comeback, but at this point, with 4:58 left, they're still 2 goals down.
And it'll be interesting to see whether or not Teddy Nolan starts to look towards his goaltender, Mike Lenarduzzi, and decides to pull him. Voltigeur is controlling down in their own zone off the faceoff. Tell you, Pierre Gagnon, the Drummondville goaltender, has come up with a couple of great stops in the last few minutes after a relatively calm first couple of periods. 4-2 the score, Drummondville leading with 4:40 to go. Chassé in back of the net, trying to get it in front. Lenarduzzi waving at it, and it's on top of the mesh. And we'll get a stoppage with 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Drummondville up by a pair.
Once Canadians reach a certain age, they become adults, and so they behave in a mature fashion. Cultivating friendships, learning proper etiquette, and expanding their horizons. Molson Canadian, what beer's all about.
I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie and Gord Miller. 4:35 to go. Game number 1 of the 1991 Memorial Cup Championship. Live from Le Coliseum in Quebec City. We apologize for the quality of the audio portion of our program. We are having some technical problems in our signal relay from Quebec City back to our TSN Control Center. Reed giving a bump along the boards. Here's Chassé. And the Greyhounds very aggressive in their forechecking, trailing by a pair with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Desjardins in back of his own net. Desjardins still. Tony Yob up there to watch it, number 77. Chassé out to Lark. She'll kick it into gear. Foot races him back. Chassé moves up, right in front of the net. Great chance for Dupré. He was parked all alone in front, but couldn't get the puck to settle down. Delayed offside of the Voltigeur as they have to retreat. And offside is called. Chassé didn't get out.
Sault Ste. Marie defense having all sorts of problems in front of the net. Sean Imber was nowhere to be found. Neither was his mate. Drummondville had 3 men all alone in front of the Sault Ste. Marie net, but were unable to control the puck. They've obviously got to be taking chances offensively, but at the same time, they can't completely abandon themselves defensively. Only 3:35 left.
It's going to say, you see the Greyhounds started to come up and get very aggressive in their forechecking, and that just opens the door for the Voltigeurs to move it around and break out. Very potent offensively. As we saw early in this third period, they rattled off 3 goals in about 2.5 minutes and really blew the doors off this one. Kiley works it up and in. Vasillo trying to drive it towards the front of the net. Nice play there by Eric Dandino to break it up. Corbett trying to rip it through on goal. Dandino up off the board. Bugner picks it up. Bugner comes in. Vasillo going for the front of the net. Goes to Koch. Gets it right in front. And Daniel will grab it and hang on.
Gagnon has just come up really big every time they've needed him tonight. See here, the Sioux really coming hard. Bugner moves up from the point, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do is challenge and pinch in, create some offensive opportunities. Puck comes out in front. Puck is loose, but on both occasions, Pierre Gagnon. But good work by Bugner. The captain takes matters into his own hands, races around the defense,
throws it out in front. Unfortunately for the Greyhounds, number 21, Joe Basillo, and number 19, Mike the Cop, could not get their stick on the puck.
3 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Drummonville leading by a score of 4-2, but the Greyhounds are pressing. Wade Witten up on the faceoff. And Witten had a great rush earlier in this period, forging his way down along the wing and creating a good scoring chance down in front of Pierre Gagnon. A rugby scrum off the faceoff. And play is called. Referee losing sight of it, so we get another stoppage with 3:03 to go. Drummonville in action tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, as a matter of fact, they will play the Spokane Chiefs. And then tomorrow night, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds back in action against the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League champion, Chicoutimi Saguenay. And you can see that game live here on TSN starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow night. Kiley with a shot. That's blockered away by Gagnon. Adam Foote. Couldn't connect with Witt. Foote again. Brisebois hustling over to pick it up. Pokes it up ahead, trying to get it out. Prue couldn't knock it down. Greyhound set up. Lots of traffic down in front. Kiley's moved in from the point. Only one defenseman back. But the Voltigeur is able to clear it out off the glass. 2.5 minutes to play. And Kowalski back there to tag it up, and icing called on Drummonville.
Well, the Quebec League's record in Memorial Cup play for the last many years has been pretty woeful. In fact, it's been since 1986.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gord Miller at the 1991 Memorial Cup. We apologize for the loss of audio. We're having technical difficulties here at Le Colisée. We can tell you, though, that the Drummondville Voltigeurs lead 4-2 late in the third period of play here. Drummondville has scored 3 times in the third period. Sault Ste. Marie has come back with 1. But the Greyhounds trail by 2 with 2:25 remaining. They have the puck in the Drummondville zone. Number 88, Colin Miller, is in to take the draw for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. As soon as we can get our technical difficulties sorted out, we'll get you back to Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie upstairs. Meantime, stay tuned for what's been a very entertaining hockey game so far. One that Drummondville has perhaps surprised some people in. Here's Adam Foote at the blue line. His shot gloved neatly by Pierre Gagnon, puts it behind the net to Martin Cherois. Cherois now. Playing very cautiously, clears it out. Foote picks it up, waits for his mates to get onside. Can't clear it back in. Offside is the call against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, who have had their opportunities on Pierre Gagnon in his hockey game, but have been unable to capitalize. The Greyhounds had a pair of 2-man advantages in the first period, but could not score. The game was tied at 1 after 2, but Drummondville has really opened it up here in the third period, of something a lot of people didn't think they could do, as they've been a very defensive-minded team this season. But they've done it so far, and Drummondville with, well, perhaps an upset in the opening game of the 1991 Memorial Cup. Sault Ste. Marie will play again tomorrow, a game against Chicoutimi that we'll show you starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time here on TSN. Miller back in for the draw, tries to get it to Yob, but Drummondville once again comes away with it. Picked up there by Martin Cherois. Cherois now clears it in. Looking forward is Roger Larch. Larch in the corner now, can't control it. It's picked up by Sault Ste. Marie. Long lead pass is too far. Icing is the call against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. You're watching the 1991 Memorial Cup live on TSN.
Stand by 3 and 80. Comes your lineup.
The Expos try to gain some ground in the East by taking on the top Padres in the West. Sunday, 4 Eastern. It's Expos baseball on TSN.
Our next game on TSN comes your way tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Chicoutimi takes on Sault Ste. Marie as the 1991 Memorial Cup continues here on TSN. I'm Gord Miller along with Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie. Unfortunately, we're having technical difficulties from the Colisée. You can't hear Paul and Bob right now. As soon as we get those rectified, we'll go back upstairs to them. But right now, pull up a chair and check out the last couple of minutes of action as Sault Ste. Marie trails this game 4-2 in the third period. Puck in the Sault Ste. Marie zone, and the draw is won by Drummondville. Puck intercepted by the Sioux now. Coming up with it is Mike DeKoff. DeKoff across the line is checked off the puck, and it's taken there by Rennie Corbett. Corbett's had a strong game for the Drummonville Voltigeurs. He has the puck taken away by Busillo. Joe Busillo, a former Oshawa General, in the corner now. He can't control it. It's picked up in the corner, and taking a big hit there is Colin Miller. Miller now centers in front. Nobody there. Loose puck. And finally, Drummondville clears the zone. Icing is waved off as Adam Foote goes back to get it. Adam Foote now has to circle. Aggressive forechecking here by Drummondville. That was Claude Jutras. He's got one of the goals in the hockey game. Foote now behind the net, and the net is empty for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. So Mike Lenarduzzi is headed to the bench for an extra attacker. And Drummondville almost scored into that empty net. Here's Foote now trying to clear it out of the zone, but Drummondville is all over him. Foote now has to retreat back to his own zone. Dangerous pass right in front of his own goal. It's taken there by Brad Tiley. Tiley in the corner now, looking to get it ahead. Pass for Yav is too far, and the puck goes all the way down to Pierre Gagnon. Gagnon steers it to his teammate. Now intercepted there by DeKoff, but DeKoff can't get the shot away. Now here's Internuvo. Back to the point to Bugner. His soft shot deflects wide. Busillo at the side of the net. Busillo looking in front. Internuvo couldn't get a stick on it. Bugner now at the backhand. Had a big save there. They hit the goalpost right in front. Busillo hit the goalpost. Had a chance to pull his team within one. The Sault Ste. Marie net is empty. Drummondville tries to clear it, but they can't get it out. Here's Busillo at the blue line now. Soft pass right in front, and it's fired right through the crease. And Pierre Gagnon hangs on to make a save as Sault Ste. Marie threatens here late in the hockey game, and pushing and shoving breaks out next to Pierre Gagnon. This has been a rough contest throughout. It's been very chippy with a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle, and now there's a lot of it. DeKoff throws his man to the ice. And now I think we'll see some penalties. Mike DeKoff threw Claude Jutras down to the ice. DeKoff, number 19, still jawing. Now he's talking to Yannick Dupre, and Bob Bugner, the captain of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, also getting into it. Drummondville, the most penalized team this year in the Quebec Major League. 2,300 minutes in penalties. They average about 33 minutes a game. You take a look at Mike DeKoff and Bob Bugner trying to restore some order here. And Bugner may be headed off with very little time left here in the third period of play. Sault Ste. Marie has never led in this hockey game. Drummondville took a 1-0 lead after one. Sault Ste. Marie tied it up in the second. As close as they get as Drummondville, coached by Jean Hamel, really pulled away. Hamel, the former Montreal Canadian who preaches a defensive style of hockey by his team, has paid off here in the third period. We saw Drummondville earlier this year take on Victoriaville on TSN, and they were upset in Victoriaville. But Drummondville has come back. Although they were swept by Chicoutimi in the best-of-7 Quebec League final, Drummondville draws a spot in the Memorial Cup as two representatives from Quebec take part in the tournament. Pierre Gagnon has been a very busy man in this hockey game, and he is looking to keep his team ahead by 2. 14 seconds remaining here in the third period as Ted Nolan, the head coach of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, tries to drop a last-minute strategy that would get him a pair of goals. Sault Ste. Marie knocked off Oshawa last week and had to come here as one of the co-favorites in the tournament, but certainly a loss to Drummondville would put them decidedly behind the 8 ball. They have to come back tomorrow night and play Chicoutimi, and then they've got a game against the Spokane Chiefs of the Western League. Spokane, one of the tougher teams in the tournament, and Sault Ste. Marie will take on Spokane on Wednesday at 7:30, so Sault Ste. Marie will get a couple of days off after a very busy weekend. Ted Nolan takes a look as the referees and linesmen discuss it with the two team captains. Not much time left to go here. 14 seconds, and Drummondville still leads by 2. 1991 Memorial Cup here in Quebec City. Fans in this city, of course, looking very much forward to seeing one of the two Quebec teams in the final, and certainly Drummondville would have an excellent shot at a playoff spot after what looks to be a win in the opening game of the tournament so far. Bob Bugner goes back to explain to his coach Ted Nolan exactly what the calls are, and we may see goaltender Mike Lenarduzzi back in his goal now for the final 14 seconds here in the third period. John Hamel's team has played a very consistent hockey game. They begin their celebrations 14 seconds before the end of the game, but certainly it appears they've got the opening game in the bag. Sault Ste. Marie, a team that very few people expected to be here, but they were very hot down the stretch. They won 9 of the last 10 games in the regular season, And before Oshawa beat them in Game 2 of the OHL Final, Sault Ste. Marie had been unbeaten in its last 19 hockey games. So perhaps the surprise came to everyone but the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and their fans. And a lot of Sault Ste. Marie fans have made the trek here to Quebec City to watch their team play this week and perhaps see the Sioux win its first ever Memorial Cup championship. The Greyhounds were last at the Memorial Cup in 1985, but they did not win the title. The Greyhounds have never won the Memorial Cup. In fact, none of the 4 teams competing this year at the Memorial Cup have ever won the tournament before. But ready to get it started here now with 14 seconds left in the third period. And Drummonville leading it 4-2. I'm Gord Miller along with Paul Romanek and Bob McKenzie. As I mentioned earlier, we're having technical difficulties here. Here's Wade Whitten across the line. Gets it across to Bugner. His shot is tipped away into the corner. Picked up there now as the countdown begins. Drummonville shoots it around and gets it out. It's kept in there now as time expires and some fisticuffs break out. Right as the whistle went, Brian Gowdy of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds is into it. Pierre Gagnon, the goaltender for Drummonville, is also there, as is Patrice Brisebois of Drummonville. As I mentioned, it's been a very rough hockey game, and now the tippers really begin to flare. Brisebois is still talking to Gowdy, saying he got a high stick around the chin. And the referee Lapointe trying to restore order here as the players now begin to leave the ice. What a performance by Pierre Gagnon as the fans in Quebec City rise to their feet to applaud his performance as he helps the Drummonville Voltigeurs to a 4-2 opening game victory over the Sault Greyhounds in the opening game of the Memorial Cup. We'll be back with more on TSN in just a moment.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth. It is today
we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free, from far and wide